Yes.
Yes.
Very, very, very excited.
Yeah.
I'm now back from my holiday, Mr. Bone.
Yeah. I was sort of away. I've been to a couple of weddings.
That's good. We've both been away then, haven't we?
Yeah, just doing our thing. I had a birthday. You had a birthday.
Yeah, we both had a birthday.
We're older. We're wiser.
I'm 1 year younger.
Yeah. You went backwards. I went forwards. Never look back, people. Remember that.
That's it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what have we got today?
We got a game.
Got a game.
Yeah, we got a battle report.
So now, as of this, so first up, Games Workshop, thank you very much. You bossed it yet again. Thank you for the new codexes.
Thank you very much.
Obviously, as of watching this, guys, the Deathguard book's already out. I've been lucky enough, if you've watched the Voxcast, the last Voxcast I just released, you know I've had it for a week and a half, couple of weeks now. But this is something I also had, but unfortunately couldn't reveal anything, of course, until the pre-order release has come up. Mm-hmm. And now this is the week of pre-release. So this means that no, this book's not available to buy and pick up in your store yet, but you can now go and purchase it, pre-order it, I should say, from Games Workshop or your friendly local gaming store online now. And if you're a Mechanicus fan, you will absolutely want to do that. I'm going to kick off by saying that both of these books are exceptionally awesome.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah, now because I'm a Mechanicus player, as I'll go over in more detail in the lists in a minute, and I'm a Deathguard player, but today, Mr. Bone, you're going to take over the control of my favourite 1950 space robots. You're looking after the Mechanicus today, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So I've done the lists for both, and I think I've balanced them quite well against each other.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
You've done all right, John.
Look, I try.
He's all right. He's all right at it.
I try. And so I think you guys will have a really fun game to watch, which will definitely highlight a lot of the new stuff. I happen to have a Mars Forge World, so of course we'll be using the Mars Forge World Dogma, and then of course the Canticles, which for Mars are really, really cool, because the Dogma, with the Cult Mechanicus, with Mars specifically, they can roll 2d6. Yeah. It's a random chart, yes, but they roll 2d6 and they can use both of those canticles, and they can use it every turn instead of just picking one and then not being able to use it again. That becomes doubly, triply, quadruply better.
Yeah.
And you've got Belisarius Call, who allows you to add +1 or -1 for
it's very good.
those rolls. So you can pretty much get what you want, which is really good.
Yeah.
You know. So the Mechanicus book is actually... I think both books are really strong. You know, I'm not going to do a full review here. That will be on a Tactica and on demand. But I'm going to say that right off the bat, when I read both books, I immediately saw several very powerful builds. You know, if you want to talk from a competitive point of view, that dirty word. I saw several very powerful builds in both books, and emphasis on several. And that's when I know it's a good book, because I can go, there's a few different ways I can play this army, and I know it's going to have teeth. Yeah. I know it's going to be a lot of fun. And then, you know, also you can just, they're both quite fluffy as well, and they allow you to create really fluffy armies. And that for me is a massively important point as well, because I like the armies to play, even if they're being played in a strong way. I like them to play how you think they should play in your head. Yeah. In the stories, because otherwise, you know, we're not sort of playing the spirit of the awesome 40k universe. Yeah. So look, that's my little jabber about the books over. I'm going to go talk a little bit more about them. Yeah. In the lists. Yeah. Are you looking forward to using my 50s robots? Mate, I've lost sleep at how much I've been looking forward to this. Now I'm going to warn you, I do want to win the game, because Grotty gets very upset when Nurgle doesn't win. Yeah. Now I want to win the game to teach Grotty a lesson for corrupting our last one. He did. He ate the last battle report, which was a battle report for you guys. I had a battle report lined up for you just before I went away, which is why it's been a little while, so apologies for that. Yeah. But Grotty ate it, didn't he? Yeah, he did. So now I'm going to teach him a lesson. It went wrong in the technical room. It went wrong. So sorry about that, guys, but hopefully you guys will enjoy this instead. But at the same time, I kind of want you to win, because the 50s robots, I loved them so much. Yeah. Well, look, they're in safe hands. Okay. Our list's coming up next. Hello, you lovely people. Here we are. Grotty, very pleased with the Deathguard book, and today I have a 1996 point army for your viewing pleasure, Mr. Bone. Good. You're okay with that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I've got a battalion detachment. Now, there are a lot of very cool options in this book, as I've said in the intro already. Now, this is based... I've made this army. I've got a couple of different options I can run with my Deathguards. And I haven't shown you guys the Deathguards here on Freeview. I've actually played a few games with them on demand before the new book came out. But I had an inkling that the book was coming, and I decided to wait for the debut. Then, of course, when I finally got the book, I was on holiday. So, sorry, I was a bit late with the Deathguard, but we are, of course, previewing the Adeptus Mechanicus book as well.
Good things come to those who wait anyway.
Yes, this is very true. It's a good statement of life.
Yeah.
Now, this particular Deathguard list is... funnily enough, it still works because there are a lot of new options in here, especially with the weapon types that Plague Marines can have. Now, we've already seen that when the Chaos Space Marine Codex came out, but as it happens, I used the Forge World upgrade kits for my Plague Marines when I was doing them, and moreover, when the new Deathguard kits came out in the 40k box set, I was like, well, you know what, these are slightly bigger scale, but actually I think they make really good champions for the units.
Yeah.
So I painted up the existing Deathguard Marines and I made them the champions. Now, I think it works quite well. Now, I'm going to get this army expanded upon. I don't have time to paint more of it. So I did enjoy painting what I have painted here. But I will get Siege Studios to add a whole bunch of new kits as and when they come out. As of filming this, they're not even out anyway. No. So you couldn't have used them even if we wanted to. But in this particular game, I don't have any of the cool new Nurgle weapons. And frankly... I'm looking at the Blight launchers specifically. I probably would run them, but as it happens, because I've got plasma guns and melter guns, as you'll see in this list, they've actually buffed those as well. So they kind of work. They don't kind of work. They do work anyway. I just think that maybe the Blight launchers might be a bit more points efficient. Undecided. Be very interesting to see how this game goes. Now, overall, I'm just going to say this straight away. This book is awesome. It's made everything that I take, that I enjoy taking and like the idea of, better. It's made it all better. Plague Marines are cheaper from the index. We saw that from the Chaos Space Marine Codex anyway. The Demon Prince does have Disgustingly Resilient now. Thank goodness. Thank you, Games Workshop. And so do my Blight Lords Terminators. So I can't have these as the Death Shroud Terminators, which are the ones I really like with the big scythes. Because they don't have the scythes. But we do have the Blight Lord Terminators. Again, none of the special Nurgle weapons, but I've got combi melters and everything on there, as you will see. But in addition to that, I should preface this list by saying that there is a slight issue, which I know some people are quite confused about. I think some people think maybe it's a mistake that the Demon Prince of Nurgle can't take wings. I don't believe that's the intention. Obviously, this is rules as written and rules as intended, right? But just to go over it, the data sheet for the Demon Prince of Nurgle in the Deathguard book specifically says under his war gear options that the model may have wings at a power rating of +1. If it does, its move characteristic becomes 12 inches and it gains the fly keyword, just like the normal Demon Prince. In fact, when you compare this data sheet with the Chaos Space Marine one and the Index one, it's exactly, bar the Index one, sorry, because the Hellforged swords became cheaper. But with the Chaos Space Marine one, it's exactly the same. The points cost exactly the same. But when you get to the points at the back of the Deathguard Codex, there's no entry for the wings. No entry, guys.
Yeah, well, that's helpful.
But if you look, so you could argue, oh, well, maybe it's because the actual Nurgle Demon Prince model that Games Workshop had didn't have the wings. Yeah. So I've converted mine with these wind turbines from a Forge World Greater Blight drone. I just thought it would work really quite well, and it seems to work quite well. But I actually think it is a mistake just in the points section that he is intended to have wings, because if you look previously in the book, in the painted section, there's actually a picture of a painted plastic prince of Nurgle. Although, to be fair, I have to say he doesn't have wings. I thought he did. He doesn't have the wings modelled, but that kit, the kit they have used, does have wings in the kit. And it doesn't make sense that they wouldn't have wings. So, look, what I've done is, this is pre-FAQ, you know, for the Deathguards. If they do suddenly reveal, the GW reveal, guess what? The data sheet's not supposed to have the wings upgrade. That's why we didn't have it in the points in the back. Fair enough, I'll have to hold up my hands. I'll be quite sad about it, because then I won't be able to use my Flying Prince anymore. I'd have to use the index version, but he doesn't get disgustingly resilient.
Right.
But frankly, guys, I'm pretty sure, 99% sure, it's just a mistake with the no points in the back, because everything else about the Prince is the same. In which case, I've paid the points for the wings from the Chaos Space Marine Codex. And from the index, incidentally, it's the same points. So this Prince comes in at 180. Now, I have got a Hellforged sword modelled, but I don't think the Hellforged sword is anywhere near as good as Malefic Talons. I do usually roll with WYSIWYG. Everything else here is WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get, right? But in this instance, I think it's fair to say the sword can act like talons. It's no big deal. So he's got a pair of talons. That's what he's got.
Okay, good.
That's what he's got. So he does loads of attacks. He's a beast. Got disgustingly resilient. And because I really enjoyed this model, and he's kind of like he's my warlords. Generally in my previous games I've played, I'm making him the warlord again. I'm going to take one of the brand new warlord traits called Revolting Lead Resilience, which boosts my disgustingly resilient, which my prince has never had before, to a 4+.
So he's never had it.
He's never had it.
So then you give it to him, and then you go, oh, guess what? You can have it better.
Have better.
It's crazy.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I like it.
So that's my prince.
Right.
I'm a big fan of my prince. I haven't given him any relics. I've actually given my relic to the next character in the army. Now, this is an elite's choice. I've just skipped over the HQ there. But I'll go over to the elite's choice, and that is the Nauseous Blightbringer. Okay? Now, it's got this bell, which is not an amazing combat weapon, but, you know, it is what it is. It comes with a plasma pistol. Now, what he does is very cool, and actually ended up synergizing with my army rather well. One of the special rules from the Deathguard is Inexorable Advance. And so I'll just read this out for you, so you guys have it word for words. If the army's battle-forged, all infantry and Hellbrute units in Deathguard detachments gain this ability. Such units do not suffer a penalty for moving and firing heavy weapons. That's huge, because it makes my Hellbrutes much better with their twin las cannons.
That's great.
Right? And I love the models from Forge World, so, you know, why not use them? In addition, a unit with this ability can fire twice with rapid fire weapons at a range of 18 inches, instead of only being able to fire twice at half range. Well, guess what? I've got 6 plasma guns across 3 different units of Plague Marines. They now have a rapid fire range of 18 inches. Okay, so whilst they can't advance and fire, because it's a rapid fire weapon, they can still rapid fire at 18, which is awesome. But my melter guns on the other 3 units of Plague Marines can advance, and with the Nauseous Blightbringer, he allows units within 7 inches to roll 2d6 when they advance and pick the highest. So it actually makes them quite fast. And they can fire the melter guns without a minus.
Yeah, that's
pretty awesome, right?
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's just so like how I don't picture them, though. Do you know what I mean?
Now I know what you're thinking.
I'm thinking of the
demons. You're thinking of them being fast. It makes them sound like they're being fast.
Yeah.
But it's actually really fluffy with the Deathguard. The Deathguard traditionally don't have lots of transports, okay? And it's really cool. What this book does really well is it actually encourages you to build more of a fluffy list for the Deathguards, because what's written in the fluff is they have this sort of slow, inexorable advance.
Yeah.
That they sort of just plod on, but they're relentless. They don't stop. Yeah. So it's rather than them it's not them running, it's just that they just never stop.
Right.
And any shots hitting them just, you know, pus comes out, and you know,
it's very cool.
It's just a relentless march.
Yeah,
it's frightening, and also it means that you don't need to worry about the transport so much, guys. You can start spamming Plague Marines, which in my opinion is one of the stronger ways to run them. There are lots of good strong builds in this. I've got a full Deathguard Tactica coming. Plague Marines is just one. Obviously, Pox Walkers are going to be really strong. You can do Prince Spam. There's a whole bunch of things you can do. Synergize it with Mortarion. That's not what this game's about.
No.
Okay, this is a strong game, as we usually do here, but this is a lot of fun as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. 6 units of Plague Marines. Now, 5 of those Plague Marines have, the champions have a Plague Sword. I just had the points, right? And one of them's got a Power Fist, because that's what's modelled in the kit. And as I said, generally I do WYSIWYG, so I've paid for the Power Fist. He's like my Plague Marine champion's champion, if you like.
Right.
Second in command.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
So that's all of the troops. 6 units of troops. Lots of objectives secure, because of course they get the Plague Host rule, which is basically in battle-forged armies, troops units can take objectives over non-troops units, even if they're outnumbered. Then what we have in my HQ, second HQ slot, is the Lord of Contagion. Now, he's not my Warlords. He has got the Plague Reaper, which is basically a really, really badass Plague Axe. Damage 3. Cataphract Eye Armor, so 2-up armor save, 4+ invulnerable. But his special rule, if you like, is Nurgle's Gift. And that's any enemy unit within 7 inches of the Lord of Contagion are surrounded by a deadly aura of plague and disease. Roll a dice for each enemy unit is within 1 inch of any affected friendly units at the start of your turn. On a 4-up, you suffer a mortal wound. So, yeah. Now, the thing is, plague, I mean, I'm not really taking advantage of it with the collection that I've got, but especially with things like people like Mortarion, you have the ability to spam a lot of mortal wounds from a Plague Marine army. And their psychic disciplines really supports that as well. So hopefully I'll be able to show some of that to you guys with my prints. So that's pretty exciting. He is a beast in combat. You know, he's toughness 5. Of course, he's got disgustingly resilient as well. Now, as you guys know, as I said, I was a bit late getting this one out to you. We know, you know what else is in the book now. You've got a Chaos Lord. You've got a Chaos Lord in Terminator armor. You can take the normal sort of Chaos characters. But frankly, guys, why would you in Deathguard? I know they might be a bit cheaper, but you want the disgustingly resilient. It's just that good. You want it, so use it. Yeah. You know. So that's what I've got. Lord of Contagion, second HQ. He's a beast. He's got the teleport strike ability, which is good because that will synergize with my Blight Lords Terminators, who also have disgustingly resilient now. So finally, we've got proper Deathguard Terminators, which is awesome. Now, these guys can have a lot of plague weapons. I'm not going to go over all of that for you now because that's not what they've got modelled. In this particular unit, it's very expensive, you know. I don't know, you know, if I was going to be ruthlessly competitive, I mean, that's not what this game is. Would I take them over other things? Probably not. I still think they're good, but I actually prefer the Death Shroud Terminators, you know, personally. But for the time being, you know, this will be fun. So we've got 5 Terminators. They've got disgustingly resilient, 4 combi melters in there, 2 power axes, 2 power fists, champion as well, with a chain fist, and another combi melter. We've got a Reaper auto cannon in there as well. So good deep striking unit will be able to be supported by my character. The Lord of Contagion, and will of course cause some problems as we go into your lines.
Yeah. Well, you've got to get there first.
We've got to get. Well, we're going to deep strike in though, aren't we?
Yeah, but you know, still.
So, Grossi says we're going to deep strike in.
Oh, does he?
He does. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
So there you go, guys. Now, you know, there's better things I can take. You know, I'm going to say it's one of the star units for me, especially in the style army that I'm doing. And as soon as the model's out, I'll get it and paint it and add it. I'll just do that ahead of Siege Studios because I'll bang it out quickly. And that's the Plague Surgeon because basically he's like an apothecary, but he allows any units within 3 inches of him, infantry units, can't use it on Mortarion folks, to re-roll disgustingly resilient rolls over 1.
Yeah, that's good.
It's another really nice bonus.
Yeah.
Now, I think immediately straight off the bat, if I was going to up the power of this army, I'd probably drop the Terminators. I'd drop a... I'd probably drop either the Lord of Contagion. No, I'd probably drop I'd drop a Hellbrute. That would give me enough points. And then I would take Mortarion.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can expect that at some point, guys. Mortarion, I'd love to paint myself, but I would spend a lot of time on it. I know from my experience, I spent a lot of time on Gilliman. I don't have the time. I've got too many secret projects going on, so that will probably be part of the Siege Studios commission. But I can bang out the Plague Surgeon very quickly. So unless a lot of you are like, Lawrence, we really want to see Mortarion, then I'll probably do it for you. But I have to have a lot of comments. We want to see more Mortarion. Mortarion. It's going to be like every comment Mortarion.
Yeah.
And then I'll do it ahead of the other things.
Yeah. Begrudgingly, but he will do it.
Yeah, but I will do it. Okay, so so that is pretty much the entire army. Of course, I've got the 3 Hellbrutes in there, which I sort of skimmed over. We know what they do. They don't have disgustingly resilient. I am a little sad about that because I just, because I've got the Deathguard Dreadnoughts. Yeah. And I think it would be cool. Yeah. But, it's not the end of the world. They've still got crazed. They still benefit from the Legion tactic, if you like. Yeah. and they're still boss.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, they're good value, aren't they? I mean, you know, a Hellbrute now, especially in this Walking Death army, I call this a Walking Death. Grotty likes to walk up with everyone as well. Of
course.
Because that's how he is.
I like to think he skips.
He does sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit of skipping.
Now, now that's the Deathguard. Now, it's a bit of a whirlwind review. Of course, I'm going to be employing stratagems. I've already told you about the new Warlord trait that I'm going to be using, but we'll go over that during the game, guys. This is not a full tactical review. That goes over on demands. But for the time being, in summary, massive fan of this book.
Huge.
Big fan. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of strength in there as well. If you know what you're doing, and you know what synergies you're looking for, with a variety of different builds, which shows a good, strong book. You don't want to have a book with one build, that's boring. So, look, that's it, guys. You know, I don't have anything else to add off the top of my head. 1996 points. Should definitely be an interesting game. The Adeptus Mechanicus, another one of my favourite armies, though, with those 1950 space robots. And it's a pretty good list as well. So let's see what's in that. That's coming up next. So, team, we're now on to the Adeptus Mechanicus, but a slight addendum, if I may, because I always forget something, especially when it's a new army. I get excited.
Yeah, it's fine. Carry on.
The Deathguard, I did forget to tell you what relic I was going to take. I told you my Warlord trait, didn't tell you my relic. I'm not spending command points to take any additional relics. There are some really good ones in here, but, you know, I'm not going to go over all of them as an individual now. But I'm going to take the Dolorous Knell, and that's on my Nauseous Blightbringer. So it's basically a better version of his Doomsday Bell, if you like. And so what it does is you roll a d6 for each enemy unit within 7 inches of the bearer. At the start of each morale phase, on the roll of a 6, the unit suffers a mortal wound. So it's another thing which, you know, can sort of stack on with your Lord of Contagion, which is quite cool. In addition, however, an enemy that takes a morale test whilst they are within 7 inches of the bearer, your opponent must roll 2 dice and discard the lowest result. That may not sound that good, but when you take into account the Nauseous Blightbringer also gives a -1 to people, which he does, it all starts stacking up nicely. Now, I'm not making the best use of the Nauseous Blightbringer, I don't think, because I would probably I should all have all Blight launchers, really. That's probably your best all-round weapon, or all melter guns, you know, so that everything can advance. But the whole army still works anyway, because I've got the 18-inch plasma backed up by the melter, which can advance and fire. So it kind of works. Anyway, that was Deathguard.
It's very good.
Now, I don't know what it is about, but I do. I do know what it is. The Mechanicus are one of my favourite armies.
Yeah.
Specifically because of the 1950 space robots.
Yeah. And they're quite close to Chaos, really, aren't they? Which is what you are.
Is that what I am?
Yeah. You are Chaos.
I like to think of myself as universally adaptable. Be like water, my friend.
Yeah, sure. To evil. Doesn't matter what. You'll get evil.
Well, you know, okay. So, now, my 50s robots, I love them because they look like 1950s robots. Yeah. Now, I know that a lot of people, well, I wouldn't say a lot of people, I know that some people don't like them because they look like that. Personally, I think that they're really creepy, in a good way.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up watching, you know, B-movies and bad sci-fi films, and really good ones as well, like The Day the Earth Stood Still, which is a classic. And the thing is that I'm not talking about the Keanu Reeves version, though.
No, of course not.
Not that it's a terrible film, but it's not as good as the original.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Let's digress. I love these robots. Now, I've always loved them. Okay? I've always loved them. For you veteran tabletop tactics fans, I know I haven't had a Mechanicus report on here for a good 8 or 9, maybe even 10 months now. But actually, I had loads of reports with them before then. And then they got a bit old. I hadn't updated the army, so I sort of shelved them for a bit. But I was using them when no one thought they were cool.
Yeah. Before
the Elimination Maniple was a thing in 7th edition. Now, however, they're going to be everywhere because they are really good. Really, really good.
Yeah.
They were always really good. That's the thing, though. They always were. It's just they were one of those hidden gems. Often overlooked because people went for a war convocation and they had trouble squeezing them in. That's the real truth of the matter. Now, here's the thing. have I equipped these robots in this particular list? So I've made the list because obviously, Bone, you haven't traditionally used Mechanicus in the past.
No, this is my first time.
Yeah, well, we'll learn together.
Yeah, I'm quite excited.
Yeah. Now, the robots, are they equipped with the most efficient loadout? No, probably the best loadout. And I say probably, not definitely. Probably the best loadout is the guns. All the heavy phosphor guns. Because they've got a protocol which allows them to fire twice, and it's absolutely vicious. It's just a vicious amount of firepower. And when you synergize it with things like Belisarius Call for the rerolls, it becomes even worse. Or you synergize it with the elimination volley, which is which is a stratagem. It adds 1 to the hit roll, guys. It becomes really good.
Yeah.
Really, really, really good. Now, the first thing I'm going to say right off the bat is this book is very good.
I really like it.
Okay. Now, we've already filmed a different game, with this one for on demand, and so I already know what the Mechanicus could do. But when I read the book, I was actually, you know what, the synergy in this book is some of it's really frightening. It's not to say that the Deathguard isn't either, but I think the Mechanicus were already good, and this has just made them a ton better. This is not going to be an army that struggles. There are several, more than several in fact, very strong builds that you can do. This is not the strongest version of them. If you're interested in a more competitive Mechanicus game, look out for it coming up on demand after this one. But this is still pretty strong, a bit like the Deathguard. It's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the Canticles don't affect the Knight. Okay. So you guys may have already seen reviews. Warhammer community have already released information on the book as well. But just to confirm, the Canticles do not affect the Knight. All right. That doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter at all. Half the Canticles would be completely useless to him anyway, guys. So it's not really a big deal. The way that the Knight can suddenly become interesting, because in my opinion, Knights aren't anywhere near as good as they used to be. And in fact, sometimes I might go so far as to say I'd often not take one. Yeah, like personally, I think the robots are better. I'd just take more robots. But I'm just going over a general overview here before we get into the proper list, guys. But I thought hopefully you're interested in it because it's a new book, right? So the Knight has some very, very cool stratagems and synergies that can be used in this book, which I think actually all of a sudden make him really interesting. One of the stratagems, only 1 command point, and no matter how damaged he is, he can use the top profile.
I like that.
That's one of the biggest weaknesses of the Knight so far, is that you damage them and they start to degrade and not become that effective. You can completely ignore that for only 1 command point in a Mechanicus army. That is good.
Yeah.
Okay? That is very good. The second thing is with the nature of your characters being able to repair these Knights and certain relics for re-rolling the amount of wounds that you give back, and certain stratagem which will allow you to repair the same thing again for only a command point, all of a sudden you can have a situation, which we'll get in this game, that I'm showing. This is the synergy with a Knight. So I thought it'd be cool to show you the Knight and how it works with the new stratagems and stuff in this book. You'll have a situation where you can have a character, in this case it's the Tepris Dominus, behind the Knight or near the Knight, regenerating 2d3 wounds from it a turn, re-rolling both the d3s because he has got the auto Caduceus of Archenland, which is one of the relics, which allows him to re-roll the wounds that he gives back to a machine. Now, that's really cool. That makes the Knight really interesting. Now, again, this Knight is not the most optimized Knight, but he's okay. You know, he's okay. He's got his thermal cannon. He will be able to do the business. Yeah, he'll be able to do the business. So, let's go over the list. What we have here is a battalion detachment. So we've actually got 4 units of troops. They're all destroyers in this case. Now I've actually painted up new units. Well, I'm actually using 2 of the new units I painted up. Very, very quick for me. This is tabletop standard. We've got...
I helped build them.
You did, yeah. You did build them. It's very true.
But I did. But this is the thing. If we painted this, if I painted out like this, took me months. It took me months, and I'm very proud of this work. And like, though I watched him do it, and I was just like, I hate you, Spider, so much.
That's very kind. Thank you.
It's not kind.
So anyway, these are my 2 units of 3 plasma destroyers, the plasma culverin. Now, I've heard some people say that the servitors, battle servitors, aren't good. That they're too many. No, they're very good.
They're really good.
They're really good. Like,
I've witnessed it.
Yeah, they're good.
It's something to behold.
Yeah, you know, there's a mixture of stratagems, proper character usage, and things that you can do which make these guys really vicious. You've got to bear in mind, these are troops, okay? So this book, again, gives the ability for the troops to take objectives over non-troops choices, as we've seen in all of the codexes so far. And ultimately, they're toughness 5 with 3 wounds each. True, the destroyers only have a 4-up save, breaches have a 3-up. But when you start spamming them and you have so many wounds with a higher toughness, they actually become really quite good and they kick out a substantial amount of firepower. Now, you know what? I'm not going to talk any more about it. You know, I'm not going to try and convince you guys. You can just witness what they do in the battle report and then you can make your own decision. But battle servitors are hot.
Yeah.
They're really very good.
They are so hot right now.
Yeah, they're so hot right now.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 units of plasma. And the plasma, I really like the plasma. You know, D6 shots at strength 7 -3, damage 1. You can overcharge, and often you would overcharge if you're synergizing it with something like Belisarius Call. You know, for the rerolls, really, really solid. A lot of firepower. They've got the phosphor blasters on there as well. We've then got 2 units of Grav Destroyers. Grav Destroyers were always amazing in 7th. They're still amazing now. 5 shots apiece. You know, 15 shots per servitor unit. I've got Cognis Flamers on this unit. That's not actually the best choice. It's not a bad choice. It's a lot of hits, but I generally use them more at range. So I take the Phosphor, and it costs a little bit cheaper as well. But that's just what I've got modelled here, so that's what we're using. So we've got 2 units of those, and they're popping out 15 Grav Cannon shots each. Now, before anyone says, oh, well, you know, they only hit on 4s, it's not that good. You know, the minute they move, they hit on 5s. No, the heavy battle servitors, they ignore the minus to hit when they move. So you've got no issues there. Okay? So yeah, you are only hitting on 4s, but you're not, because you're either going to use a stratagem, you're either going to use canticles, or you're going to have a badass character like the Warlord in this army called Belisarius Call.
Yeah, we're going to use all 3.
You're going to use all 3.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So now, Belisarius Call. Now, I'm not going to go over all of the Forge Worlds. Warhammer community have already done a fantastic job reviewing those things for you guys.
It's been really good, hasn't it? Yeah. I've really enjoyed that.
Now, what I will say is that pretty much the majority of Forge Worlds have some good abilities. For me, there are a couple of standout ones. I do think Mars is brilliant. Now, I know some people might go, well, the static Psalm code is the Warlord trait for it, which gives you a 3-inch additional bubble on your aura abilities. But Mars is what gives you access to Belisarius Call, and Belisarius Call is so good.
Yeah.
I might just say, I'm going to say it now, he's probably too good for his points. I think he just offers a little bit too much for his points. A bit of a Gilliman situation. That's my opinion, but he's incredibly good for what he does. And then all of a sudden he gets static Psalm code. That's a 9-inch bubble now. Everything within that 9-inch bubble re-rolls to hit. That's hot. You know, ouch.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean that you have to have Belisarius Call to make a really strong army. You don't. There are plenty of other good builds. One that jumped out at me straight away was the -1 to hit if you're over 12 inches away, which is, I believe it's Styges 5, 6, 7, 8. Am I correct? Yes, I am. The Shroud protocols, so the army would get a subtract 1 to hit them. That's really powerful. You know, look, the whole Forge World dogmas, there are some really good ones, and there are ways that you can, with stratagems and everything, sort of manipulate and build a sort of certain style army with them, and it will work fine. You don't have to have Call for reroll to hits. You can go Tech Priest Dominus, reroll 1s, etc., etc. There are different ways you can build it, right? But as this happens to be a Mars army anyway, that's what I painted it as. That's what it is, and so of course we're going to use Call. Now, with Call, he's an absolute monster. 250 points. I've got the 9-inch bubble. He is the Warlord. there isn't really much more I can say about him. He's got his solar atomizer, which is like a D3 strength 10 shot weapon. He's a general all-round boss, and if you're running Mars, you're probably running cool. There's little to no point not doing so, unless you have a fluffier Tech Priest Dominus and you don't want to have cool in your army, which is absolutely fine. I support that life choice, in fact. In fact, I should say, I'm not, even though I have cool and I have a Mars Mechanicus army, I'm not going to run him all the time. I actually think he can be a little bit too strong. So, but in this game, I think it works because the Deathguard's quite strong as well.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And if you hammer me, that's fine. So, you know, so that's cool. Then we've got a unit of Castellan robots, my favourite 1950s space robots. Now, these guys do have the fists, and they've got the heavy phosphate. As I've said, one of their protocols does allow them to shoot twice. Obviously, that's not something that we'll probably be using here because these are more my combat bots. But there's another protocol that allows them to fight twice instead of shooting. So that will no doubt prove useful, potentially, against the Deathguards. And they're so resilient. Toughness 7, the repulsor grid's incredible. You start with the Aegis protocol, which effectively adds 1 to your armor save and invulnerable save. So you're basically rocking kind of like a 2-up armor save with a 4+ invulnerable save. And on 6s, you reflect wounds back at the opponent that you've been shot at for a mortal wound.
That's very cool.
I love them. I'm in love with the look of them. I think they're badass. They're 1950 space robots from outer space.
What is up?
Yeah, I've actually got 6 of them. 4 painted, but I own another 2 as well. So, you know, it's very cool. Anyway, so there's the robots.
I think you like them.
I love it.
Yeah. If you guys didn't catch that, he's a big fan.
I just think they look so cool. So here's the thing. Now, if you want to change your protocols, you need a data smith, or you have to expend a command point on a stratagem, which ends up meaning that you freeze your protocols. You can't ever use the previous protocol again. So you can do that. It's not ideal. So in this instance, we've got a data smith to go with them.
Yeah.
He allows them to change the protocols from the existing one. They always start with the Aegis protocol, so shields up, so to speak. But he can switch over to a different protocol on the roll of a 2+, so quite easy. He's also a bit of a boss himself, nice little combat character, and he can heal D3 wounds on a unit every turn as well.
Yeah.
So again, that has some synergy there.
Yeah, lots of healers.
Lots of healers. This is the thing. Again, it starts to build up. So what we've got here is cool in the middle, giving all of those buffs to all of the battle servitors. Any units that are wounded, he can go off and try and heal them.
Yeah.
We've got the data smith walking with my favourite robots, healing them, allowing them the tactical flexibility of changing protocols. We've then got the Tech Priest Dominus with the Auto Caduceus of Archenland, and that he will be escorting the knight. Okay, so this is a Knight Errant, Reaper Chainsword, 2 feet, and a thermal cannon. Now, I don't think I've got quite enough points for the missile pods. I'll double check that after this, and I'll let you know as we're into the game. But at the moment, all he's got are the feet, the Reaper Chainsword, and he's got a melter gun as well, by the way.
Sure.
And he's got a thermal cannon. Now, I think I might be able to squeeze the missile pod in because I've had an idea, but it doesn't, because I've already got 20 points spare on this anyway, but I'll let you know after this. The main point with this is with the Tech Priest Dominus, who can walk up behind this guy, he can heal him, as we've already described. We've given him that relic, and with the use of the stratagems, this knight will be kicking out at its full potential and staying alive longer in general across the game, which I think is really exciting. So that's it. That's the list.
Yeah. It's like having a night and a half when you use all the stratagems in a way. Do you know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's really cool.
It is.
Yeah, because it really you almost get this idea of this walking battle barge that's like just keeps going. And I just think it's really cool.
Yeah. And then on top of that, what I think is also cool is the Deathguard. I call that army the Walking Death.
Yeah.
And then my Mechanicus army is obviously all for, they're infantry based anyway. So it's like these two armies that sort of plod along against each other. Yeah. I think it's going to be a really fun game.
It's very cool.
So hopefully you guys are looking forward to it. I know it's a longer intro than normal, but these are new books, people. Yeah. And I'm assuming you want me to talk about it. So there you go. Now, there's lots of stuff in here. I'll go over new stratagems. We've got the static Psalm Code Warlord trait on for Belisarius Call, so I don't need to tell you what that does. 9-inch bubble. But as everything else new that comes up throughout the game, hopefully you'll see how these two new armies, brand new armies, work on the battlefield against each other. So it's mission coming up next. And we're in. The forces are deployed. No doubt some of you out there sitting on the edge of your seats in anticipation. Will the Walking Death beat the Walking Mechanics? I try my best.
You had to think for a second there, didn't you?
I try my best. I work with what I'm given. So, what we have here, folks, are the Deathguard deployed in this Eternal War mission. Would have played a Maelstrom for you viewing bosses, but I don't have the Maelstrom cards from the Mechanicus or the Deathguard yet. And I thought it'd be better to wait for us to debut that at a different time. So we're doing an Eternal War mission here. And this is the Scouring. So the Scouring has one rubbish objective, basically, worth 1 point. And it's got one really boss objective, worth 4 points. And the rest are worth 2 points. So in this instance, the rubbish objective, worth 1 point, is here. The top objective is here, worth 4 points. The rest, strewn across the battlefield here, grotty looking on, guarding 1. The rest are 2 points apiece. Now, it's Search and Destroy as a deployment type. I believe, no, what's it called? Spearhead Assault.
Spearhead Assault.
Spearhead Assault. Frontline Assault.
Frontline Assault.
It's an assault.
We got there.
Which basically means it's Dawn of War, but like in a triangle deployment, you can actually start up to 18 inches away from your opponent. So very central deployment for the Deathguard. Pretty central deployment, although a little heavier here on the left flank with his knights for the Mechanicus. I do have my Terminators in Deep Strike and of course the Lord of Contagion, but I think right now this is going to kick off to be an absolutely brutal game. Now sad news, folks, for you Grotty fans, the Mechanicus deployed first. Yeah, so the way we play games here at Tabletop Tactics is we are sort of taking a nod from the preview chapter approved rules that Games Workshop have previewed on the Warhammer community page. So the person who finishes deploying first gets a +1 to his roll to see who goes first. So in this instance, Mr. Bone.
Yes.
You will get a +1 to your roll, sir. I will have to live with whatever roll I have to see who goes first. Right. Would you like me to roll first, or would you like to roll first?
Go on, you first.
Thank you, that's very kind.
Age before beauty.
I've only rolled a 2, Mr. Bone. That means I need you to roll a 1 to force a reroll.
I see.
Because your 1 will become a 2, won't it?
Yes, it will.
I mean, you don't have to take the +1 though. I suppose you could just give me the +1.
I could.
Okay then.
But I'm not going to.
Right.
That's right.
Very good. Well, good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Love that.
Okay.
It's a good start. However,
so that means that you'll get to go first.
Yeah.
Unless I seize the initiative.
And of course, you don't have to seize the initiative. You could just let me have it.
6.
Oh.
Oh dear. All
yes.
right. I'll let you have it.
Yes.
See, we are about to go into the movement phase, but at the beginning of a battle round, you must roll for the Canticles. And the Mars Dogma is very cool because they get to roll 2d6, as I've stated before. If they roll a double, they can only use 1. But actually with Belisarius Call you can manipulate 1, so you can end up getting 2 anyway, so it's pretty cool. Now, a slight amendment to the deployment and of course to the tactics that I was speaking about in the beginning of the list analysis. Unfortunately, the Dominus can only heal 1 wound. He can just do 1. He does do D3. I was right about the D3. It's Cool that can do D3 on the knight. Not him, okay? But that does mean that his Archenland Relic would be completely useless in synergy with the knight because he can only do 1 wound anyway, so being able to re-roll the amount of damage that he heals doesn't matter. Still does synergize with the stratagem though. Still does synergize with the stratagem. But actually in this style list, you're better off, I'd still give him the Auto Cadius anyway, because it's still a boss relic to give and heal your servitors, which also have multiple wounds. So it's still valid, all tactics still work, you just sort of shuffle it round. And Cool will do the healing on the knight, okay? Still works fine. And then with the stratagem, he can do 2d3, which is absolutely epic. Now, as a result, I've let Ben move his Dominus over here. I said, did he want to change his deployments so that he was within 3 inches of his knight early on? He goes, no, because frankly, he's moving out anyway. Call can move this way if he needs to, and that's absolutely a valid point. So they can still meet each other to do the healing anyway as required.
Yeah, they'll just meet up on the battlefield.
It's not a problem.
Yeah, so have a little date.
So that's just a little clarification for your viewing pleasure. So Tech Priest Dominus can only do 1 wound. Call can do D3 wounds on any Adeptus Mechanicus model. And it does have the Adeptus Mechanicus keyword. So, right, Mr. Bone, let's do the canticles now.
So it's 2d6.
2d6.
And then I can shift it 1 either way.
That's right, because of Cool. He's got that as an ability. So you rolled a double. That's what I was doing when I used Mechanicus over on demand. Okay, so now 4 is Shroud Psalm, which is arguably
very good.
What you wanted with 1 anyway.
Yeah, cool. So I'm going to keep that with 1.
That means the entire army, bar the knights, count with the canticles, including the robots, count as being in cover, even if they're not in cover. If they're in cover, it doesn't get any better, but the whole army now effectively has +1 to their armor save. Okay, and now you can -1 or add 1 to one of these dice as well.
Yeah, so the options I could go to 3, which was Chant of Remorseless Fist.
Yeah.
So you can re-roll any hit rolls of 1 for the effective units in the fight phase.
Okay.
Now, I mean, that's not going to be too helpful because I've got Call there anyway.
Well, it's only the fight phase as well, so it only really affects the robots or the knight if they get into combat.
Yeah, but
remember,
tentacles don't work
this
on
turn,
the knight, is that right?
They don't work on the knight. You're absolutely correct. Yes.
Cool.
So it would only work on the robots, and it would work over the course of this entire battle round. So that's my turn and your turn. Or
I can effective units have +1 strength.
Invocation of Machine
Might.
So both combat related, really.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
He's
having a good think.
I'm going to give the 1+ to strength, I think.
Okay, invocation, or rather chant of... No, invocation of Machine Might. Alright, interesting stuff. So the robots will be even stronger than they previously were. Not bad, but more importantly, he's got that Shroud Psalm. Let's see what he does in the movement phase coming up next. Movement phase complete here, team. The Battle Servitors, Call, and the spearhead of the Castellan robots, and the Questor Mechanicus Knight advance towards the Walking Death. Now, did you advance the robots in the end?
No.
Okay, so he's moved them forward 8 inches, or around 8 inches. Tentative.
Actually, I only moved them about 4 inches.
Interesting. Interesting.
I wanted to use a certain stratagem, maybe.
A little stratagem, is it?
Being strategic.
Wow. Okay, well that's the movement phase, really just gently moving forwards. Obviously the mission at the end of the day is he who holds the most Eternal War objectives at the end. Now obviously I've got some high value ones, specifically the high value one over there, plus the rest being 2. This one's only worth 1, so it's a bit of a chaff one really. So right now though, I don't know if it will last that long. It's all about the firepower, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. It's shooting phase coming up next. Team, we're in the shooting phase and the night is opening up. Should also let you know that we could afford the Ironstorm missile pod, which is very cool because it meant that the Mechanicus Knight, or the Mechanicus Army rather, is 1996 points, and the Deathguard are 1996 points. So it's absolutely perfect. Now this pod can actually fire at units that they can't see. That's not really relevant in this instance. It does have, I believe it's 6 shots, isn't it, Mr. Bone? Or is it D6 rather?
Let me triple check. I was just reading it and I lost it. It's D6.
D6, yep. Strength 5 -1, and you're firing it at the nearest unit here.
That's right.
Melter gun's out of range. The thermal cannon, though, what's that big puppy firing at?
The Hellbridge, the closest one.
Oh.
Yeah.
How unpleasant.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So
I cannot
first up,
suffer it to live.
the Iron Spear pods. D6 shots opens with a 6. Ominous.
That's good.
Ominous. Okay. Now he did move, but he ignores the -1 because he's a knight. He's a boss.
Okay, let's look at the right knight profile here. That would help. Yep, so
Hitting
threes.
on ones. Or threes rather, not ones.
Cool. Very nice.
That's 5 hits. Now, luckily as a Plague Marine, I am toughness 5. We're tougher than most. So that means that you'll need to wound on 4s, sir. Can you do it? Ouch. He gets the 1 wound, despite the hot roll to hit. It's a -1. My bloated power armor will save me. Or not, as the case may be. First, disgustingly resilient roll.
Yeah, now it is damage 2, I believe, as well.
Then the first 2 disgustingly resilient rolls, I believe.
Yep, damage 2, that's
okay,
right.
so actually I need to make 2 5s and 6 saves for my disgustingly resilient. How unpleasant. We did make 1, but 1 is not good enough. The first Plague Marine is blown to smithereens, pus and bile going everywhere.
Yes!
Now we open with this vicious thermal cannon against the Hellbrute. D6 shots coming up.
He's done it
Another
again!
ominous round of fire here.
Loving it. Loving it.
Marked for death, says the 1950s Space Robot Army. 4 hit. To wound, sir. Now you're not. Are you within thermal cannon range? I don't think you are. Okay, yeah. Because that's half range is 18, I believe, for your weapon.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is 4 hits. The strength is 9 or 8.
With the thermal cannon, it is 9.
Okay, but despite that, I am toughness 7, so it is still 3s to wound. We've got 2 wounds. Okay. Now it's -4 though, isn't it?
That's right.
Well, that quite unfortunately means I don't get a save.
No.
Okay then.
So it's 2d6.
Right. Good.
Yeah.
Good. So 2d6 damage here on my port 6. There you go.
How many wounds are they?
The Hellbrute does have 8 wounds, and you have to remember, I don't get disgustingly resilient on the Hellbrute.
Right. So I'm going to use a command point on that one.
Okay.
Because I would like to eliminate this.
You would.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's using his first command point reroll of the shooting phase.
Well, so what? So I've got. I need a 3 or more.
You need a 3 or more.
Right.
To destroy the Hellbrute and claim first blood.
Oh, he's rolled the same one!
Again!
Classic B-bone! Ah!
Here we go, folks. We're now shooting with the Plasma Culverin Destroyers here. Phosphor, I believe, is out of range. Okay. Is it, though? I mean, you might be able to clip the nearest Deathguard unit. Worth a little check, isn't it?
What's the cheeky range on a phosphor?
24.
Oh, I see. I thought it was a little less. Oh, no. We can give them a little bit.
Okay, so he'll target the Deathguard infantry in front with the Phosphor Blasters.
Yep.
And the Plasma Culverins are going into this Hellbrute. They can't actually see the other Hellbrute, can they? No. So they're going for the far right flank Hellbrute. Now, he's also employing the use of a stratagem, the elimination volley.
Yep, that's correct.
A unit of destroyers within 6 inches of the robots can add 1 to their to-hit rolls. In fact, both units do, including the robots as well. So very, very cool.
Yeah.
Not to mention that they're within 9 inches of Belisarius' call.
Yeah.
Which means they're re-rolling to hit anyway. So, first of all, we need to determine...
How many shots?
How many shots. So, you are overcharging, is this correct?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm going for it.
Alright, so...
We all know how much I love an overcharge.
Loves an overcharge.
Yeah, this is where a white moon unit, but it's still pretty cool. Alright, so
it's 3d6 shots.
Yep, so first one...
Has 5 shots. The second
one has 3...
And 3. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 shots from the unit in total.
Cool.
Now we have to do these individually because he is overcharging.
Yeah.
So the first one, 5 shots. Now he hits on 4s, re-rolling with Belisarius' call. Yeah, well, and then he can add 1 to that afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Modifiers are done after.
Cool.
So rolling to hits. Right, he can re-roll the 3 misses there, the 1, 2, and 3. Yep. And then he ends up making them all hits because the adding of the 3 becomes a 4 anyway, and that's a full house. Very nice.
Excellent. Cool. So the damage on that is Oh, well, we should move on to the other hits first,
Yeah,
really.
so we've got 5 hits so far. Then the second round of 3. That is 2 with a reroll. That is 3, so it's 5, 6, 7, 8 hits so far. This is unpleasant. And the you don't have to re-roll. It says so you may as well just keep it, Bone.
Yeah,
because it will become a hit anyway, right?
Yeah,
so there you go. He's hit with all of them. 11 hits.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
That's what I like.
That's what he likes.
That's what I
Now
like.
you are strength 8 when you overcharge. I'm toughness 7. So you're now looking at 3 wounds, but no re-rolls here.
Just excuse me, I need to grab some more dice.
Okay.
So 3s?
3s. Yeah, pretty good. It's about the average, really. Maybe one
Slightly
less.
Yeah.
Right, all of those are wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Now the minus is 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I do get 6 up saves. Oh, how I wish I had disgustingly resilient. We'll just have to do a spider roll. We get 1. Now, that is still 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 wounds because it's damage 2.
Yep.
That destroys the Hell Brutes. Mm-hmm. Does he blow up? First blood, folks. He doesn't blow up. But one of my precious Hell Brutes has been obliterated. Next up, it's the Phosphor Blasters. So 3 shots, they're not in rapid fire range. At the forward Deathguard unit. That's 2 hits. He can re-roll that miss there. Misses anyway. Okay, so 2 hits. Now they're strength 5, but I'm toughness 5, so 4s. It's got both the wounds, and I believe it is -1.
Yep.
We've got 1 save there on a 6, 1 fail on a 1, but we've got disgustingly resilient, and that does unfortunately fail. So that's another Deathguard Marine killed there. We're starting to show the tally man, a tally in negative favour of the Deathguard, unfortunately.
It's quite a mouthful there, mate.
It was, yeah. So, what next, Mr. Bone?
Just give me
Just gonna have a think. We're on to the robots now. We've got 6 shots. It's the heavy Phosphor Blasters from the robots, and they're firing at this Deathguard unit that just lost one of their fellows there. Now he's got 6 shots. Now they do not ignore the -1 to hit when they move, the robots, but he has got the elimination volley stratagem in place, so he gets a +1. So effectively they ignore each other, they cancel each other out. Let's roll to hit first of all. Well, that is a very good roll. Now, however, the modifiers happen after, but then it's modified back to normal, so you're absolutely fine. Every single one is hit, no rerolls required with Belisarius Call there. Right. So, all hit. Can he wound? It's 4s to wound. Actually, you might be strength 6 on the heavy phosphor. Could you check that for me, please? In which case you'd have 4 wounds, not 3. So.
Yeah, it is 6.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay, so 4 wounds, and the minus.
The minus is 2.
Okay, so I need 5s to save. 2 save. The damage, sir?
Damage is only 1.
Disgustingly resilient. Double 1. That's insulting. We're on the grav train now, folks. Cognis Flame is obviously out of range, but these 3 unleashing a deadly salvo into the Plague Marine units over there on the right flank. So, 4s to hit. He's re-rolling with Belisarius Call. That 9-inch bubble, the static Psalm Code Warlord trait, absolutely incredibly effective for the Mechanicus.
I've got 6 hits so far.
He re-rolls. Right, well that is very unlucky with his re-rolls considering. But it does happen. Okay, still lots of hits though.
Yeah.
And it does do D3 damage with Grav against Power Armoured Marines. 3 up
So,
saves.
4s I need, yeah?
4s, yes. That's the part which can help protect me. So that's 4 wounds that have gone through there. Now it is -3 on Grav, so I've got 6 up saves for my Power Armour. No. And then it's D3 damage, so you'll need to resolve these D3 damage. First.
1.
Just 1.
Second.
3, so 4 wounds. 2 wounds. 2 wounds. Okay, so the first one, can I say disgustingly resilient? Yes, I can. Okay. This one's 2 wounds now. Can I save? Disgustingly resilient. No, so 1 Marine is killed. I've got another 2. No, 2 Marines are killed. And then I've got 3. No, so 3 Marines are killed in total. This Grav Destroyer unit now shooting across this flank into this Deathguard unit. Pretty much the only unit they can see. So, one of their numbers already been slain, I believe. Okay, so this is... he can wipe the unit perhaps, 4s, but he does re-roll.
Just going to take all these hits off.
Nice.
Good.
Cool, making it work for him there. Okay, lots of hits. Can they get the wounds? It's 4s to wounds. Okay, he's got a few. Should be enough.
Yeah.
Now I need 6s to save. That's the problem here. That's the problem we have. We do make 1, but then that is this many D3 damage wounds here.
So first one. 3. 2. Okay, so the first one. That was a pretty good roll.
That was good.
Come on.
So the first one, 2 wounds, disgustingly resilient, he's dead. Second one, 3 wounds. He's dead. Third one, for 3 wounds. He's dead. And in the fourth one, he's dead. So, therefore, unit destroyed. First of the Plague Marine units completely mutilated. And that marks the end of the turn. The final plasma cannon unit, Covering unit, cannot actually see a target across the battlefield here. A combination of battlefield cargo containers, etc., blocking the line of sight to any valid targets. So, a good turn nonetheless, as you would expect from this Mechanicus army, especially when you've got someone like Belisarius Call there, allowing such a brutal amount of re-rolling to hit. He's slaughtered a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Plague Marines, I think, which is a substantial number, a third of the force there, and he's destroyed a Hellbrute. However, before we go into the morale phase, we do have to roll on the craze table for the Hellbrute, because on the roll of a 6, he goes crazy. He doesn't go crazy, so it's all good. So in which case we go straight to the morale phase here. I have to make a morale check for these 2 Plague Marines. I rolled a 6. That's not what I want. That would actually, with 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, that would actually kill one. So you know what? I'm going to use a command re-roll. To re-roll that, I get a 6 anyway. Classic. So I will kill the champion for his cowardice. Then what we're going to do is roll for the 2-man unit over there, which I rolled another 6 for the plasma. That's bad news, because I lost 3 from that number. 6, 7, 8, 9. That kills the unit because I've killed the sergeant from there. We lose those Plague Marines too. Oh dear, that was a shocker. We just lost a lot of firepower there for nothing. Well, we're on the back foot, aren't we, team? But don't worry, I've got a plan. I always do. Don't forget, my Terminators are about to arrive, as is the Lord of Contagion, and hopefully we can turn the tide of this battle. Turn 1 for the Deathguard coming up next. Well, here we are. Movement phase complete. There they are. Lord of Contagion and the Deathguard Terminators here. Just over 9 inches away from the Knight, but also just over 9 inches away from this unit here. Now, using the rules to my advantage, the inexorable advance, rolling 2d6, discarding the lowest for my advance here because of the Nauseous Blightbringer. I actually moved this unit 11 inches. This unit moved 9 or 10, I forget. We're actually in melter range with the melters against the Knight here. And this unit has got its 2 melter guns in range, but not melter range. Plus, of course, we have combi melters in range over here. But the plan is nuke the Knight, charge here. That will give me some good flexibility. My Prince has come out into the open in the middle here. Is that insane? Yes. But But because he got the first turn, he got pretty nasty alpha strike on me. It was imperative that I actually get him in the mix quickly. I've got a power which I will be casting in the psychic phase, which will give me a -1 to hit him as well. Plus I know he can really tank a lot of shots, and if he's firing at the prince anyway, frankly he's not firing at the rest of my army. So you know, you sort of, you have to take your little victories where you can, your little strategies where you can. Now these two units didn't advance, but they've got rapid fire range of 18 inches. Because they do, I am actually in rapid fire range of these grav here, which is very, very good. Even the bolters, which is cool. So just extra shots, right? Now here's the thing. Got a stratagem I want to employ. Grandfather's Blessings. It is 2 command points, so now I'm only down to 3. But it allows me to regenerate D3 wounds on a model, or I can just bring a model back to life in a unit on 1 wound. So what I'm going to do is bring another plasma gun back. Like so. So now all of a sudden I've got 4 plasma guns in rapid fire range of one of these grav units. So that all of a sudden will give me a little bit of punch back and makes me very, very happy indeed. So that is the lay of the land, folks. I didn't move this Hellbrute for a reason. I'm going to be employing another stratagem for Fire Frenzy, allowing him to fire twice and try and punch this knight. So it is at the closest model. He is the closest model, so I'll be able to actually fire 4 las cannon shots at the knight there, which could be really tasty. But we essentially wanted to nuke the knight before he starts regenerating him with Belisarius Call here, D3, and then using a stratagem to do it again. So I was hoping that we could highlight that for you here in this game, but I now need to ruthlessly strike back after the hammering I just took to keep this the Deathguard on track for a victory. So let's see what happens. It is the psychic phase coming up next. So this is how we're doing it. We're going to cast Miasma of Pestilence on ourselves. That is the Deathguard Prince. We get a 10 just as well because it's casting number 6 and it goes off. So it's now a -1. You have to subtract 1 to hit from any shooting that you do on him. In fact, it may just be a straight -1. Yeah, your opponent must subtract 1 from all hit rolls that target the unit, so that includes combat, which hopefully will prove very useful against those robots. Folks, we're in the shooting phase, and it is stratagem time. I am going to employ the Fire Frenzy stratagem. So that's on this Hellbrute here. The nearest model is this knight. It means that I get to fire twice, providing I didn't move, which I didn't, at that nearest target. So I've got a twin las cannon. Twin las cannon. I've got the infamous combi bolter.
That's my main concern.
That's it. Yeah. Now let's do the twin las cannon first. 2 shots, 1 hit. Rolling to wound, sir. No, we don't. Okay. Well, we're going to do our combi bolter then next. Actually, sorry, it's 1 shot. They both missed anyway, so it doesn't matter. Then we will do our twin las cannon again because we get to fire twice. 2 hits this time, much more promising. 2 wounds this time. There we go. So just as well, Fire Frenzy did pay off for me in the end. Now, I believe you've got an ion shield.
Yep, 5 up.
Shields up, sir. Shields up. Or are they? One of them is, one of them isn't. So it is D6 damage. 5. I'll keep it as it is. So 5 wounds down on the knight. And don't forget now, we've got the all-important combi bolter. It's a miss. Actually, I think it is just rapid fire 2, actually. So let me just roll the other one. It is a hit. It's unlikely to wound. Oh, no, it does wound, of course. Okay, an armor save, and then I'll check that it's rapid fire 2 after he makes it on a 6, so it doesn't matter. So there we go. We've taken 5 wounds from the knight. He's left with 19, but we've still got plenty of melter coming his way. Here we go. First of the new Deathguard abilities here. Rapid fire range of 18 inches does put me in range of the Grav destroyers. So what we're going to do is open with plasma, rapid firing. Now we're not overcharging here because I'm not within the bubble of my prince to reroll 1, so just straight up rolling to hit. 2 hits, just as well. I didn't. Yeah. Rolling to wounds. 2 wounds. Okay, now these are -3.
Okay.
Plasma, but you've got bionics, which actually gives you a 6 up invulnerable save.
It sure does.
So it's just damage 1 anyway, so
Bionics!
Bionics, no. So we got 2 wounds down on one of the destroyers. That's a good start. Now, our bolters are in rapid fire range as well. So all of a sudden, we've got another 6 shots coming in hot.
Sorry.
Although Bone stole all of the dice, didn't you, Bone?
I'm just trying to clear up, you know?
It's a hit. Quite a few hits. Now, you are toughness 5. My bolter's strength 4. That is 1 wound, sir. So this is a 4-up save, or one of the destroyers is actually destroyed. No, he's all good. All right, we'll keep this rolling. Next up, I'm actually going to fire... Need to be strategic. I don't want to waste my overcharged plasma on the 1 wound model there. So actually, I think what I'll probably do is fire the Hellbrute's combi bolter next, and then his twin las cannon. Let me have a think. Well, this gets more and more fun, folks. So he is within 18 inches, and because he's a Hellbrute, just like infantry, he gets the inexorable advance. So his combi bolter can actually be now 4 shots at 18-inch range, because it's rapid fire 2. He is in 18-inch range, so 4 shots into the destroyer unit. And he is also within 6 inches of the prince, which is useful. I can reroll ones. There you go. Okay, so we've got 3 hits there. Now, we just want to try and get a cheeky wound. No, we didn't quite get it. That's unfortunate. Now, the twin las cannon, I've already declared, just off camera, I'm firing it at the plasma at the back. So, twin las cannon, both hits. Remember, he doesn't get a -1 to hit with his inexorable advance, because he's with a heavy weapon when he moves. Can we wound? We can, a 5 and a 3. Now, these are -3, which would mean normally no saves, but 6s will save.
And also, I get my, I'm in cover, essentially, with the cantrip.
Oh, yes, of course, absolutely. Forgive me, yeah, your canticles. But, so -3 would make you a 3-up save. Would still be a 6-up anyway. So, in actual fact, it is 6 anyway.
Yeah.
So, we haven't really missed anything yet.
No, well...
because the canticles hadn't affected him.
Yeah,
so, yes, but well remembered.
This was the same.
Exactly the same. So, okay, 6s anyway. No. Well, you rolled 3 dice, only got 2 wounds.
Oh.
Since you failed all of them anyway, it doesn't matter. Yes, in this instance. So it is 2d6 damage. So d6 damage on the first one is a 4, sir. So 1 is destroyed. D6 damage on the second one is a 5, sir. So another one is destroyed. So 2 well-placed las cannon rounds there. Fantastic stuff from the Hellbrute. Well, folks, this is exciting. Once again, my inexorable advance goes to my advantage, so we're getting to see some really cool Deathguard rules here. Reaper autocannon will be firing at this unit now. Need to pluck off that one-on-one wounds to make the overcharge on the plasma over there that much more worth it. The 4 melters will fire at the knight, of course. But because of our inexorable advance, we ignore the -1 for having moved with the Reaper autocannon. So very, very cool. So 4 shots hitting on 3s. Well, we missed 2 anyway. But there you go. That's the way it goes sometimes. Now, rolling to wounds with strength 7. We do get the 2 wounds, though. So I'll take that. Reaper autocannon is a heavy 4. Weapon, strength 7, -1, damage 1. So it's -1. You are right. You do count as being in cover. So this reverts you back to a 4-up save, Mr. Bone. Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, he would have failed them anyway, so okay, fair enough. So we do kill 1, and we put 1 down to 2 wounds. Excellent. And now for some big kahuna stuff here. 4 melter guns, folks. Into the knights. 3 hits.
Oh, that's
3 hits.
That's not good. That's not good.
Now, it should be noted, I'm not in melter range, so obviously because I had to deep strike in behind you here. So it would just be 1d6 damage a pop, but it is still pretty brutal if it goes through. So we're running to wounds now. 2 wounds. Double 6. Ion shields up. Otherwise, there's potential 2d6 damage coming through at the knight here. Yeah, okay. That's 2d6. Now, what I would love is a double 6.
Yeah.
Well, I do get a 6. So I'll keep it as it is. I'm a bit starved of command points. I've still got some other things I want to spend. But it is another 6 wounds down. So that leaves him on 13. Lucky for some, Mr. Bone.
Not me.
Let's keep this going, folks. 2 melters now within melter range of this knight. Actually, to be specific, 1 is in melter range, 1 isn't. So I'm going to roll them separately. The bolters, remember they did advance, so they can't fire because they are rapid fire weapons, but the melter can. because of the inexorable advance rule and him helping me out as well. So very, very cool. Some synergy already happening with the Deathguard. So first up, the one that's in melter range is a hit. Okay. Should note as well, they are within 6 inches. So they will get reroll ones. The second one is a hit. Okay. So both have hits. Just not the prince slightly there. Now, the one that's in melter range would do 2d6 damage picking the highest. So let's roll to wound with him first. It's a wound. Let's roll to wound with the second one. It's also a wound. This pleases me greatly. Now, Mr. Bone, you'll have to do your ion shields stating which is which.
Okay,
so the first one against the melter, perhaps? The one that is in melter range?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the one that you prefer to save. Of course, you prefer to save both, but he doesn't get it. Okay.
That's not fun.
The second one, could this be fun?
No. Both not fun.
Right, well that means I get to do 2d6 damage with one, picking the highest, which is a 5. Oh, Grotty, you little minx. The second one now I've just taken 5 wounds from you. That puts you on 8 wounds, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
See if we can get another cheeky 6 now. We get a 5. We get a 5.
3 wounds. So 3 wounds!
How are those forges feeling, sir?
Burnt out.
Well, that leaves these 2 melter guns, doesn't it, folks? 2 melters. They're not in melter range, not as in half range. But 2 melter guns at the knight. A very damaged knight with only 3 wounds. One's a hit. Oh, that's nerve-wracking stuff. Now I've got 2 command points left. I'm tempted to force the issue here. Use a reroll to try and get another hit. Let me have a think. I've had a think, and it's been a hard one. He must die. Now you see, this is what makes the Mechanicus Knight rather good, because you're going, yes, you can destroy the Knight in the turn if you've got lots of firepower. But the problem is that if you don't, you see, normally now, tactically speaking, I'd be okay to just leave him. Because he'd be so degraded at this point, I could start expending, I could save my command points, not worry about him so much. But the Mechanicus Knight, he'll just simply deploy the 1 command point stratagem, and he'll act like he's on full health, and he'll start getting healed again. That's not the sort of thing I can afford. I don't like it. So we're going to re-roll that miss. And we get the hit. So we've now got 2 melter hits, Mr. Bone.
Yeah.
Double 6. It's not a double 6, it's a 4 and a 1. So that's 1 wound. That means you have a save of 5 or more with your ion shield. Now if he fails to save, he's not guaranteed to be dead, but he might be dead. Can he make an ion shield save? I believe it would be the first this round. And I think you did make one before. It's true, against the last cannon you did. Can he make a save to save his life? He can. It's big people. Depressing times, folks. Very depressing times indeed. So what we're going to do now is finally fire the last 2 plasma here. We are going to overcharge it because we can re-roll the ones with the prince there. We are going to continue our fire into these 2 grav destroyers here. I think it's for the best. I did contemplate firing over here. Don't get me wrong. The problem with that is that he's got 3 wounds. I'm damaged 2. I'll be wounding him on 5s. At that point, I'm unlikely to kill him. And the philosophy is always shoot what you can kill. So here we go. Re-rolling ones. Good. So, Prince has saved my life there. We get 4 hits. These are overcharged hits at strength 8. Full house. That's what we like. So we needed at least a couple of units destroyed here. So that's a good start. Now, it's -3. He would get 6 up armor because he's in cover, or a 6 up invulnerable. It's all the same.
I'm going to choose invulnerable.
He's going to choose invulnerable just to be stylish. Yeah. And it was stylish for 1, but when I do 6 wounds of damage, that, sir, will kill you because it does 2 wounds from him, and then it does 4 wounds from him. That is a destroyed unit. Hello, you lovely people. We're back here in the charge phase now. Grotty looking on. In fact, he's so excited about the new Lord of Contagion arriving. that he skips over here, the little minx.
Yeah.
So
Doing his thing.
So what we're going to do is declare a charge with the Terminators. Now, of course, the idea was I did everything that I tactically could, but I got out-spidered by the Dice Gods. I didn't destroy him with firepower, and I wanted to open that up so that these could then charge this. And then, actually, all of a sudden, we'd be looking at a potential Deathguard slaughter, almost. I mean, not definitely, but potential. Remember, I needed a bit of luck. But right now, I'd be happy with destroying the Knight. I'm declaring a charge, Terminators, against this Knight, sir. So
Cool. Let's do some Overwatch.
you don't have to.
Yeah, I'm going to though.
I mean, you can't really see me. Your back's towards me anyway.
Yeah, but I have. I like to think he's got like a sensor array.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you know, he just senses
That's a
it
good one.
like a sixth sense almost.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. All right. So thermal cannon.
Good.
D6 shots.
Thermal cannon, 4
4.
shots incoming. Now, my cloud of flies around me does give me a -50 to hit.
Not that, well,
And as you can see,
very well.
it stopped it. So
Okay. The
D6 iron
yeah.
strike missiles, iron storm missiles 2 to hit.
Nothing.
No, nothing.
Melter.
The melter gun is in range. It is a miss.
Okay.
Right. Well,
That's it.
I'm used to weathering support fire, as Bone is a Tau man. This time the Mechanicus do not have that on their side. I'm a 9-inch charge away, folks. Grotty looks on. The Terminators, for the pleasure of Grandfather Nurgle, and for Grotty, succeed.
Oh dear.
Now, this is where we could get really funny.
Yeah.
Now, I rolled really rubbish there.
Yeah.
If I use my last command point to re-roll this and get a 6, I will make the charge.
Yeah.
Now, statistically, tactically, that is not a good idea. I'm better off saving the command points. However, I'm going to roll a 6.
Okay. He will.
Yeah.
He probably will.
6.
Oh!
Oh!
Grotty!
Grotty, you little migs, you're supposed to help me out. Right, so we've now expired all of our command points. Ouch, the Knight is still alive. Ouch, the Knight will act as he is on 4 wounds. And ouch, he will start getting healed. Well, I'd assume he'll get 2d3 wounds back, in fact. That's not very nice.
No.
This is starting to become unpleasant, folks. See what happens. It's Mechanicus turn 2 coming up next. But in fact, whilst we're here, as it's a new battle round, you just want to do your canticles on camera for us. And also we have a morale check to make for this.
Shall we do that first?
Yep.
So, the leadership 7.
They are indeed.
So I lost 2.
You couldn't find any leadership buffs, even from Call or anything. So he's lost 2. There's a canticle which allows you to re-roll, but he didn't get that on this time. So he's absolutely fine. There's no issues. Okay, cool. So now we roll for the canticles. He gets 2d6 because of the Forge World Mars dogma. He's got a 4 and a 1, so he's got Shroud Psalm in place again, which I assume you will keep.
Yep. And then I could choose the Litany of the Electromancer. Well, d6 for each enemy unit that is within 1 of any affected units. On a roll of a 6, that unit, the unit being rolled for suffers d3 mortal wounds.
Okay. Or he could keep.
Or I can keep the
Incantation of the Iron Soul, which is re-roll morale.
So is this at any point that someone goes within 1, or is it like immediately? Well, I'll take that. Thanks.
Okay, so roll a d6 for each enemy unit that is within 1 inch of any affected units on the roll of a 6. Okay, well there you go. It is what it is. Potential mortal wound damage. It is the movement phase coming up next. However, we must charge with the Prince. Not overexcited. Grotty was getting excited. We'll keep the canticle rolls. It's not a big deal. Keep the morale roll. But we must charge the Prince into the Castellan robots, sir. So, Mr. Bone, would you like to do your Overwatch?
Oh, yes.
No doubt we've had comments already. Why didn't you charge the Prince?
Yeah. Wait, we did.
Charging in there. Charging in there.
Nope,
No.
nothing.
Okay.
Nada.
To charge. Oh dear. I don't know how far away I am. I don't know if that will make it. Let's measure here for your viewing pleasure.
No.
No, he's just out. So there you go. He failed the charge. No command rerolls. That is, unfortunately, very painful. Alright folks, we are now in the movement phase. Now a couple of things have already happened here for the Adeptus Mechanicus. Namely, at the beginning, he's used the stratagem Machine Spirit Resurgent, so despite only being on 3 wounds, he acts for the rest of the turn as using the top undamaged profile of the knight, which is horrifically good.
Yeah.
It's so good. so cool. So he's that move towards the Plague Marine unit down here, of course, because he'll be able to charge and attack like a boss. Now, he's also using the Data Smith here to change the Aegis protocols on the robots so that they can fight twice in the fight phase, but he can only do that on a roll of a 2-up. So he's just going to try and do that now. Oh, he's rolled a 1. Extraordinary.
Well, I'm going to have to use a command point on that.
Okay.
Then I'll have 1 left.
Right, because you've already used... Wow. Okay. Tough call.
Very tough.
If they charge, they still will be hitting me first, but they won't get to fight twice.
Yeah, and because I've got a -1 as well to hit you.
You do have a -1 to hit me?
I am re-rolling my attacks.
No, you're not, unfortunately.
Are they not?
It's only in the shooting phase.
Oh!
It's only in the shooting phase, sir.
I see.
There is a canticle which allows you to re-roll 1s to hits in the fight phase. And you will have your Electromancer, litanies of the Electromancer. You could potentially do mortal wounds on 6 up.
Yeah.
However, as it stands, you will be hitting him on 5s. Because the thing is, with what Bone's thinking now is that he also wants to regenerate 2d3 wounds on this knight, you see, with Cool.
And I mean, the thing is, I'll actually have enough points to do all of that. I've got 3 points of that. So if I re-roll on that,
okay,
he'll do it. I can still do that because they're all 1 point each, right?
Right, so you've got 2 points left at the moment. If you re-roll, you've got 1 point, right?
That's
okay,
right.
so here we go. Re-rolling.
So I'm doing it.
So you just need to 2 or more.
Thank
He
you.
gets it. Okay, so they can now fight twice in the fight phase.
Good.
Now, the next stratagem you're in, well, not stratagem, but you're then going to try and heal the knight for D3.
Yep.
Because Cool can actually do D3 wounds on an Adeptus Mechanicus model.
So first one.
It's 2, so it's 2 wounds, so it's on 5 wounds now.
Yep. And then I will use the Tech Adept, and I'll so I can essentially just try and heal him again.
Yeah, and this is for your last command point.
Yep.
So it's already on 5 wounds. He then heals again, gets another 2 wounds. Excellent stuff. The knight's now on 7 wounds, and just like that, he's starting to look pretty healthy. We're in the shooting phase proper now. We're opening with the knight. Remember, it's using its undamaged profile because of the stratagem used. Thermal cannon is actually firing at which Hellbrutes? There, this one.
Yep.
The damaged one. Melter gun, because of range, is just in range of this Hellbrute, so we'll fire at him. And the missile pod here will fire at the 2 plasma. So what are we firing first?
Choose the missile pod.
Okay, missile pod with
D6.
D6 shots. 1 shot. Didn't get his big 6 shots this time.
Blimey. Okay.
We're rolling to hit. He's got a hit. Can he wound? He can. Can I save? I can't. Disgustingly resilient. Isn't it damage 2 though?
Yes.
Okay. So there you go. He kills a plasma. It's unfortunate. I will remove this plasma here. Alright. And
we'll just move on to the melter.
Melter.
It's a miss.
Okay. Melter misses the Hellbrute.
Good.
And then the thermal cannon
So,
at the damaged Hellbrute there.
So D6 shots. I'm gonna up the other one. Not getting rid of that dice. Hang on a
Get
second.
rid of the dice.
D6.
He believes the dice is cursed. 2 shots.
2 shots.
Rolling to hit against the imposing Hellbrute that was damaged last turn. 2 hits. Can he wound? It's 3s. He can't.
Oh, no!
Tough break. It's almost made up for my failed charge there. Turned out I only needed to roll a 5, I think, to have made it in. Okay, he's missed the Hellbrute. That's given me 2 Hellbrutes to play with. I don't think, in fact, he has anything else that can see the Hellbrutes.
No.
Okay, well, that's the way it goes. Let's let him have a think now, see what he targets next. Alright, here we go. He's now overcharging the Plasma Culverins into the Terminators.
Okay, so D6 shots. So
Okay.
first one.
First one, 4 shots. Second one, 6 shots. Third one, 6 shots. Ooh, it's a lot of shots.
Gosh. Okay, so we'll do the
risky because
yeah,
more chance of ones. That's right.
But if I can wipe this Terminator squad, that would
you can't. It would be extremely risky to leave them alive. Yeah. That is for certain.
Cool. So. Okay. Cool. So I can reroll these.
Okay. One is killed and it's another miss. So 2 hits, but 1 is gone. It's slain specifically.
Cool.
Okay. Now 2 hits. Now you had 2 lots of 6 shots coming up. Okay. So we'll just keep 2 hits over here. I know you've got 2. Right. 6 shots coming up now. Okay. Lots of hits there, but re-rolling. Oh, kills him. Dice. Oh no. Right, he's lost 2 plasma culverin, but he's still racked up 6 hits here. It is still a lot of hits, folks, at damage 2.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Now he's got another 6 shots coming up, but losing 2 models there. Brutal. Okay, lots of hits with 2 re-rolls. He's done it again. It's a full house. Oh no. Hooray! It's the risk of destroying them, but he has got an incredible amount of hits. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 hits. Could he potentially destroy the Terminators in exchange for the plasma? Now, here's the thing. Normally you'd wound on 2s with your overcharge, but I am toughness 5. So it is 3s to wound. Cool, about the average there. He's still got an incredible amount of wounds. 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds. Dangerous stuff. Okay, now I've got Cataphracti armor, but I believe it's a 5+ invulnerable save on the Terminators rather than a 4+. I'm going to double check that now. If it is a 4+, my goodness, they're actually rather good. Right, the invulnerable save is a 4+. I thought it was just the Death Shroud that had the 4+, but in actual fact, the Blight Lord Terminators have a 4+. That's rather good. 4+ invons. Saves 4 of them. We'll take that. Now it's damage 2. I'm 2 wounds a pop, but I've got disgustingly resilience. So I'll have to do these 2 at a time. So it's 3 that went through. Disgustingly resilience. First one saves both. Second one saves 1. The third one will be on the same Terminator. He does fail it, but all of that horrible salvo only killed 1 Terminator. Wow, they are resilient. Well, an incredible display there from the Deathguard. Really shows how resilient they can be if you've just got a bit of luck on your side. But here we go. This plasma culverin now will open up against this plasma. He's not overcharging this time. Okay, here we go. It's just as well. He re-rolls though with Belisarius. Cool. He gets a hit.
So that was,
sorry, the amount of shots, of course.
Yeah,
right.
So,
anyway, one shot, 1 hit. Well, you got the hit, mate. You got the 5, and that's the wounds. Okay, so one shot, 1 hit, 1 wound. It's -3. It means I need a 6 up to save. Oh, Lawrence. Here we go. Belisarius. Cool.
So
the Solar Atomizer, nearest model is the Prince. Now, it is a -1 to hit, but you're re-rolling. Well, for cool, he usually hits on 2, so you'd be re-rolling once in this instance.
Yeah, cool.
Here we go, because the modifier happens after. So here we go.
3.
There you go, 2 shots from the Solar Atomizer. Can he atomize the Prince, the Warlord? Okay, just as well he re-rolls. Okay, so what he wants now are 3s, really. You're right, he's got 1 hit. It is strength 10. It will therefore wound me on 3s. It's a wound. Now, what's the damage of that?
Damage is
D3, isn't it? But D6 if you're within 6 inches, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I'm not.
He's not within 6 inches. He's 7 inches away. We've measured that. Okay. So I've got to try and make a save. What's the minus?
4. Right.
So I need a 5+ demon save.
Which you do.
Which I do. Okay. And if that had gone through, I actually had the 4+ disgustingly, well, not disgustingly, revoltingly resilient Warlord trait. So, okay, fair enough. He's alive. Do we know what we're doing next?
Yeah, we're going to do these guys into them back there.
Grav cannons into this support Deathguard unit. I'm starting to run thin with these infantry. There's 15 shots re-rolling here. And these grabs successfully wiped units. Well, Plasma had last turn as well. Unfortunately, it's a horrible whiff. It's the way that can go. But he's still got a significant amount of hits here. He now wounds on 4s. Yeah, that'll do it. Now he's a -3, so I need 6s to save here. 6s. No. And then I need the D3 damages, sir, for your disgustingly resilient. You can just do these all at the same time, Bone. Doesn't matter.
Fine.
Yeah, okay, so one's got to take 3. If you pass me 3 dice, please. Thank you, sir. So one's got to take 3. He's dead. Another one's got to take 3. He's dead. One's got to take 2. He's dead. One's got to take 2. He's dead. And then one more. There, yeah, they're all dead. Unit wiped out. That's where the servitors and Call can do exceptional work. Obliteration. Tech Priest Dominus opening up now. The Volkite Blaster on the lone Plasma Gunner. Those 3 shots. He rerolls 1s, and the 2 is a hit because they hit on 2s anyway.
No, it's not, because it's... I won't be able to re-roll that because he's moved it to heavy weapon.
Oh, it's a heavy weapon.
Yep.
Sorry, I thought it was assault. Okay,
No,
fine. Well spotted. That is still 2 hits.
Yep,
okay.
Cool.
Can he wound? Now 6s with the Volkite's Blaster actually do an additional mortal wound. No, but he does wound on 3, so I've got to make an armor save here. Do make it, because there's no minus. Oh dear. Okay, last ditch effort now. Gamma pistol from the Datasmith into that lone Plasma. Hitting on 3s. He's a hit. It's strength 6, I believe, the Gamma pistol. So 3s again. He's got the wound. What's the minus?
3.
I need a 6. It goes through. What's the damage?
2.
All right. I need a double 5 and 6
Please
to
die.
survive with disgustingly resilient. He's
Yes,
dead.
finally.
he finally killed this lone Plasma Gunner. Well done.
Yeah.
And that's it, team. We're in the charge phase. Who's charging what, Mr. Bone?
We're going to do him into this group in front of him.
To the Deathguard at his feet there.
I'm going to do these 2 into the Prince.
Okay.
And we'll probably do him into the Prince as well.
Cool. And if you're wondering why I didn't shoot with his Phosphor, it's because when he changes his Aegis protocols to fight twice in the fight phase, they're not allowed to shoot. And the Datasmith's also charging the Prince, is that right? Yep. Okay. So, right, Overwatch-wise, Prince can't Overwatch. It didn't give him a Warp Bolter. The Melters could hurt you, the Bolters could hurt you, so Melters from the Deathguard unit you're charging, no hits. The Rapid Fire Bolters, 6 shots, 2 hits, no wounds. Okay, so all my Overwatch is done. Now you can't physically fail that charge with the Knights. Cool. In he goes. I think you're going to be good for the Castle and Robots too. So just roll for the Robots as a token gesture. Yeah, in they go. The Datasmith will need to roll a little higher. 6 may well do it. I'm pretty sure it will.
Yeah, it should do.
Just depends how you move in with those bases. I'm sure we'll work that out off camera.
Yeah.
We're in the assault phase. Exciting stuff. We're kicking off with the Knight first, quite literally. He's using his feet to boot my Death Guards in the face. Now, it's got a whopping 12 attacks when he does that. Each foot attack rolls 3 for every 1 attack that he's got. And he does hit on 3s. That looks like about right to me. Strength, sir?
8.
Strength 8. 3's the wound. Toughness 5. There you go. Minus, sir?
Minus is 2.
Okay, so I need 5s. Power armor does save me twice. And then believe it's D3 damage.
That's correct.
Okay, so roll all of those. D3 damage, please, Mr. Bone. Okay, good. Right, so one's taken 3, so let's sort that out. He's dead. Another has taken 3. He's dead. Interesting enough, this is 1 for each Playboy. Another has taken 1. Let's see if I can save him. No, he's dead. Another has taken 2. He's dead. And the final one, he's dead. That's a full house to the Knight.
Bosh.
0 to the Deathguard. Now for the combat of the ages, the 1950 space robots versus the Demon Prince of Nurgle. They can fight twice this phase. Now don't forget, my stratagem's in effect, so it's a -1 to hit.
So 5.
So he needs 5s, yeah, he needs 5s. There's no re-rolls or anything like that on this. He just needs a flat 5+ to do it. That is the average. He's got 2 hits. So he's kicked off with 2 hits in the first fight.
Cool.
Round.
So my strength is 10.
Yeah. Now, didn't you take... your Litanies of the Electromancer are in effect as well, Mr. Bone, aren't they?
That's true.
So on the roll of a 6, I believe I'll take a mortal wound. You just want to do that now?
Yeah.
Just because, you know, why not? No, okay. So we've done that. We remembered it.
Does it count from him as well?
Yes, it does. From each unit.
No.
Yeah, so that's how it can sort of start stacking up, becoming quite interesting. Okay, so it didn't go off. That's fine. Let's now address the hits. So you've got 2 hits. Can you wound with your fists? You need 3s to wound here. He's got a wound. He's got a wound. Now the fist is damage 3.
Yeah, damage 3.
So that can do serious damage. -3 save. So I need a 5-up demon save here. No, it's 3 damage. That means that I now need to make my revoltingly resilient 4-up saves because of my warlord traits. Normally, yeah, right. So we only make 1. It's 2 wounds down on the prince. He's already wounded. I think he only starts with 9 wounds, so every wound counts. He starts with 8 wounds, in fact. So we've got 6 wounds left. Okay. And now he gets to attack with the Data Smith.
Who has 2 attacks.
Okay.
Now he's got a... He normally hits on 3s,
yeah.
So it'd be 4s, but he's using a power fist.
Okay.
So it'd be 5s.
Okay. 5s. Is that including the -1?
Yeah.
Yes, of course, for me as well. Okay. So 5s are what he needs. Double 6, like a boss. like a boss.
Amazing.
Excellent.
Okay, so
can he wound?
8.
Yeah, it's 3s to wound. He's got 2 wounds, people.
Very good. So it's D3.
Right, but I do get to try and make my invulnerable saves first. Make 1. Fail 1, D3 damage. 2, revoltingly resilience. Make 1, fail 1. That's putting down another wound, puts him on 5 wounds. It's getting interesting, Mr. Bond.
Yes.
Now, all of a sudden, you get to fight again with these robots. So I love them so much. The only negative here is because unusually I'm giving you a -1 to hit in combat, but normally the robots would have ripped apart.
Something like this.
Exactly. Yeah. So here we go. This is what makes the combat interesting. Yeah, it's a good roll, Bone. Well done. 4 hits. Okay, 3s to wounds. Another excellent roll. Okay, I need to make some 5+ invulnerable saves here. Or the prince, the warlord, could be struck down before he even strikes. We can make every single one not. That is 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage.
Yep.
I must make my revoltingly resilient rolls. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. For Grotty. It's a good roll, but I had 5 wounds left, and I failed 1 for each wound. The prince goes down howling before he strikes. That is slay the warlord, a point to the Mechanicus. Grotty does a dance just because for the fun of it, and that is why the 1950s space robots are boss. Nearly the end of the assault phase now. He did consolidate into my nauseous Blightbringer. It would be the last mistake that knight will ever make. So I've got 3 attacks with my Dolorous Bell, or Knell rather, aka the Cursed Plague Bell. So I hit on 3s, 1 hit. Good. I wound on a 6, like so. Now, there's no minus, but it is damage 2. Right. So on a 1 or 2, you take 2 wounds. For insulting Nurgle. Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
You don't take 2 wounds. Now that marks the end of the turn, except in the morale phase, if you have a unit within 7 inches of the Dolorous Knell, On the roll of a 6, you'll take a mortal wound. No. Okay. It's worth a try. Is he within 7 inches? I think he might be. If he is, I'm going to roll a dice for him now. He doesn't take a mortal wound anyway. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So that is it. Now, what a game, folks. Hope you're enjoying this. We are really smashing the smithereens out of each other here. A bit of weird luck on both sides, I think. Yeah. Points. Losing the plasma unit was horrific. The Heim whiffing, perhaps, it's fair to say the Mechanicus deserved to perhaps now be in the lead, if we assume that this should be dead.
Yeah.
However, I think it's fair to say these Terminators weathered the storm fair and square. Yes, you did lose your own unit, but they are resilient enough to have tanked those hits. So I think the Terminators would have been around regardless. This is where it starts to get interesting. It's Deathguard turn 3 coming up next. Could you believe it?
Yeah.
Is it turn 3 actually? I don't think it is.
No, I think it's your turn.
It's my turn 2.
Yeah.
I've not even had my second turn, and half of my army, over half of my army is destroyed. How insulting. That's the way the 8th edition goes sometimes, so that's cool. We've still got some tools to play with here, and we do need to hit back hard, otherwise these robots and the knights could start running rampant. Let's see what I do. It's turn 2 for the Deathguard coming up next. This is quite a game we have on our hands here, team. The Blight Lord Terminators have moved towards the Servitors here, the Destroyers. They're out of 12-inch range of the Knight, so we cannot lend our fire support. Ouch. But we are within range, of course, of these Grav, which ultimately we do need to kill anyway. Sadly, again, not within 7 inches for my Lord of Contagion ability. Nothing I can do about that. Move the Plague Marines up here, just to ensure further rapid fire range, 18 inches, of course. I've moved up a Hellbrute. We need to take on these robots. They can cause big problems for us. Big problems. They need to be dealt with. Move this Hellbrute over here to deal with this Knight, and of course we've retreated with our Nauseous Blightbringer, and furthermore we've actually advanced him. Oh, we're not advanced him, we've just moved him back here, I mean, towards the big objective over there. So there we go. That's the lay of the land here. We need a decent shooting phase, and then ultimately a pretty decent combat phase. Let's see how we go. Shooting coming up next. Here we go, we're opening with the Blight Lord Terminators. 4 combi melter into the Destroyers. Rolling to hits. 3 hits. It's a good start. Rolling the wounds. 2 wounds. Excellent. Means that 1's guaranteed to survive, from the melter at least. Nothing I can do about that. But with -4, Shroud Psalm, even with Shroud Psalm, it would be no save. But you've got your 6 up invulnerable saves from Bionics.
This is where we get double 6.
He wants a double 6. A double 6 would be extremely impressive.
Yep, feel the power.
Mr. Bone gets a 6.
That's all right.
Can't argue with that. D6 wounds, 6. So meet your 6 first. 1 destroyer is, in fact, destroyed. Plague Marines now. We are, of course, in the 18-inch plasma rapid fire range for our inexorable advance. We are going to overcharge. Sadly, no rerolls, but we need to do as much damage on these servitors as we can. So, plasma. Ooh. All hits. That's nice. Okay. No 1s, so I don't kill anyone. Now, to wounds. We've got 3 wounds. It would, again, be 6s to save. Gets 1, that's not bad, but with 4 wounds, it will kill 1. It will kill 1. And 1 wound is lost, because it doesn't carry over. So, okay, the bolters now, 2, 4, and then 6. A few hits, I need 5s to wound. No wounds. Okay, bolters do nothing, but we have killed another servitor. Still one alive. Hopefully we'll get the charge off. That's what we're hoping for. Next up, team, I'm going to do the combi bolter. I'm actually going to do that at the destroyer here, but I'm going to do the twin las cannon, of course, at the knight. So let's open with the twin las cannon. Tough break there. Both miss. Alright, the combi bolter is in rapid fire range at 18 inches. 2 hits. 2 wounds on the destroyer. He has a 3-up armor save because of Shroud's Arm. Yes. That leaves me with this Hellbrute. His twin las cannon will target the knights. We do want to try and punch some damage into him before charging. I'm not sure charging alone will do it. It might, but it's a risk. So twin las cannon into the knight. Combi bolter will fire at... Yep, he'll fire at the plasma destroyer. So first up, twin las cannon into the knights. Only the one. Can he wound? He can. It's a 5-up save. Ion shields or potential of D6 damage. Not guaranteed to destroy the knight there.
No.
Can't destroy the knight there.
No.
But it would be extra damage. It is extra damage.
Don't like that.
D6 wounds. 3. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. The combi bolter now into this. All hit. 2 wounds. Both passed. That brings us to the assault phase. The Hellbrutes can't actually fail the charge where he is. Likewise, this Hellbrute can't fail the charge where he is. So it's just a matter of Overwatch in the charge phase here.
This is where I need to roll like a boss.
Okay.
Okay, so thermal cannon D6 shots.
4 shots.
Oh, that's a good start. It's a good start.
It is a good start.
Alright, 2 6s now, please.
Okay.
None. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Damn it!
Okay.
The melter.
Melter. Oh dear,
yes.
that could be devastating.
This is what we wanted.
He needs a 3 or more to wounds. He's got it! I don't get a save. He now needs to roll anything but a 1 to potentially destroy the Hellbrutes. He's destroyed it. It's big. The knight will survive another turn. Oh dear. But does he blow up? No, he doesn't. Okay, that's a tough break for the Deathguard there. It's the way it goes though. We now have this unit of robots overwatching.
I don't think I can because I've got my flight manacles on.
Does it specifically prevent Overwatch as well? I just think it says you can't shoot in the shooting phase. Okay, let's check. Well, it says the unit just cannot shoot, so I guess they can't. Alright, well, in I go then. Smash my attacks. Hellbrutes. 2 hits. 3 hits. We'll take that. Now, your toughness 7, as I recall. Hellbrute Fist does give me ×2 strength, which will make me strength 12. So 3s, 3 wounds. Good start. Now, your repulsor grid, I believe, only works against shooting attacks.
Yeah. So
that means that actually, which is rather good, you don't have your Aegis protocols, so you don't get +1 to your armor save, so you've got a normal armor save of 3+. The Hellbrute Fist is -3. So it means you need 6s on your armor to save your robots. He doesn't get any, and he's got no rerolls. The Hellbrute Fist does a flat damage of 3. That's 9 damage. The robots, the 1950s robots, have 6 wounds apiece, so 1 is destroyed. He could blow up though, so we must roll for him, and the other will be left on 3 wounds. So, Mr. Bone, do you want to roll to see if 1 blows up? He doesn't. Okay, so 1 robot destroyed. Which one do you want to remove?
I suppose it will be this one.
Okay. Now, that's my assault phase done. The charge done. He will now get to hit back, but he still hits twice because his Aegis protocols are in effect. Well, not his Aegis protocols, Conqueror protocols. So.
And as he's within 1 inch, he will also get to attack, I'm
Yep.
assuming? Yeah, cool. So let's start with him.
Okay.
So 4s now. He gets 2 attacks.
1 hits. 2 wounds. 3s is what he wants.
No.
No, doesn't get it. Okay.
Okay.
And then what are you doing? The Data Smith or next, or are you just doing your second round again?
No, I just did the Data Smith.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, so now I'll just do...
So now you do the robot.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So since you're doing 2 rounds, you may as well do all 4 at the same time. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or is it? How many attacks have they got?
I think it's 3, mate.
Yeah. So well,
Yeah. So it's 6.
Exactly.
Yeah. So 4s this time.
Okay. 3 hits. That's the average.
Okay.
2 wounds now. 3s.
Ugh, disgusting.
Tough break. Tough break. Just the 1 wound means I'm guaranteed survival. It's -3, right?
Yeah.
So on a roll of a 6, I can save. No, but I do take 3 wounds. 3 wounds down from the Hellbrute. Now, I believe the Craze table can go off at the end of any phase. At the end of any phase in which I've suffered any unsaved wounds or mortal wounds, I roll a d6. On a 6, I immediately make a shooting attack as if it were my shooting phase, or I pile in and fight as if it were the fight phase. Right, okay. What I want really now is a 6 to destroy you. No, okay, so Craze doesn't go off, but the combat continues. I'm 3 wounds down, and so are you. However, we do of course have 1 more charge to do. Got overexcited again. This unit of Terminators is going to attempt to charge this destroyer. So he's got 5 shots he can overwatch with you.
Nothing.
Nothing. Again, we failed to charge. That's bad news. We could have done with that. Game changing maybe? I don't know. He has got a very damaged knight now. No command points to upgrade him. But Cool can go over there and heal him again. It's getting tricky, folks. Let's see what happens. Turn 3 for the Mechanicus coming up next. However, before we kick off into Mechanicus turn 3, got a morale check to make for this servitor. We did destroy 2 of his number. His leadership 7. He's got the 6.
Ouch.
That means he fails and the model's removed. He's gone.
Yeah.
So team, we're in Mechanicus turn 3. We've done the movement phase, but we're just going to roll for the Canticles of the Omnissiah. That's a 4 and a 1, so Shroud Psalm again, which I assume he'll keep.
Yeah.
And then the 1 is the same as before, so I assume you go back to your litany of the Electromancer?
Yeah, I think I will.
Alright, so potential of mortal wounds again. So movement wise, it's a bit of a summary. Cool has of course retreated away from this Terminator unit. Again, them not getting that charge was huge. So it's kept us really far back, and they're only a 4-inch move. They're not the fastest units. Meanwhile, of course, this has moved over here. Dominus has moved with him. And the Knight. Only 4 wounds left, but he's chasing the Nauseous Blightbringer. And of course, looking at the 4-point objective there in this Eternal War mission. So this is starting to look like a Mechanicus victory. Or is it? We shall see. We shall see. So, shooting phase coming up next. Let's see what he does. Opening with the Plasma Culverin now into this unit of Plague Marines. Rolling to hit.
D6.
It's just
So
the 1.
One shot, so rolling to hit. Misses, reroll.
Calls, reroll. Still misses.
Still misses.
Okay, he's got his Phosphor Blaster.
Yep, chills.
So 24-inch range. He is within 12, so 2 shots.
2 shots.
So it's rapid fire. Both hits. Can he wounds? 1 wound. 1 save with my power armor there. Okay.
Cool. Alright.
Volkite Blaster on the Dominus,
Yeah.
and then he's got the Solar Atomizer on Cool.
Yeah, so it's heavy 3 on the Volkite, so
So that's the Deathguard again.
yeah, so hitting with 3s.
Yep.
Or hit.
All hits.
Okay, strength 6.
2 wounds. He's got 2 wounds. Didn't get any of the mortal wounds. I do get normal power armor saves against it. Make both. Very good.
Okay.
And then the Solar Atomizer.
Yep, so it's assault 3.
2 shots. 2s. Both hits. To wound is actually 2s now because it is strength 10. 2 wounds. And the minus, sir?
I believe it's 4, yeah.
Okay, so then no saves. So this is disgustingly resilient. So I need to know the damage.
2 3s.
So 1 takes 3. He's dead. And 1 takes 1. He's dead. So 2 Plague Marines killed. The Knight now is firing his Melter Gun into the Nauseous Blightbringer, the Missile Pods, and the Thermal Cannon into the 3 Plague Marines.
Cool, so we'll do the melter first.
Okay.
So 5s.
No, misses, because he's on full degradation now.
Yep. Okay, so the ion missiles?
Yep, ion strike missiles.
Ion strike missiles, yeah. Okay, so D6 shots.
4. So the Plague Marines. 3 hits, triple 6. Stylish. Can he wound? 4's to wound, strength 5. 1 wound to -1. We do fail that save, and it's damage 2, so disgustingly resilient. We fail that, so we will want to keep the plasma alive here. I'll kill the champion. Alright.
So thermal cannon.
2 shots.
2 shots.
5's to hit. No hits. Okay. Interesting.
Yep,
now it's got.
That's my shooting.
Well, actually, you've got your gamma pistol, my friend. You could fire that in combat, and against a vehicle, it's especially good.
Yeah, cool. So just let me pull that up for a sec.
Okay. So it's 3's to hit. That much I do know, and it is strength 6.
Just wondering how many shots it is.
It's pistol. It's just 1.
Just 1.
Yeah. In this instance, it's just a 1. So 1 hit. Okay.
Cool.
Now against a vehicle, I think it does D6 damage. Oh, you must have.
Yeah, you can reroll fail wound rolls.
Okay, that's what it does. Okay, no problem. Now, strength 6, toughness 7, so 5's to wound, but you can reroll.
Yeah.
You can reroll. No, okay, it doesn't matter anyway, it's worth a punt.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's the lay of the land then. The shooting is indeed done. It will be the charge phase next. Let's see what he does. So here we are, charge phase. He does, of course, charge the Nautilus Blightbringer. I will overwatch. I hit.
Ooh.
Strength 7, no, does fail to wound you, sir. So that was with the plasma pistol, by the way. So, of course, okay, we fail. Can he... Yes, he makes the charge, no problem there. So the knight just moves in. Like so. Okay. Any other charges? It'd be tricky for Cool to make that. It'd have to move around his existing models.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it's even possible. I'd need like an 11.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to take the rapid fire shots on that.
Okay.
Cool. All right, then that's it.
Okay. It's the assault phase coming up next then, team. 12 attacks coming up from the knights. He's charged.
Cool.
Yes, 5's to hit, that's right, because of his damage. I believe. It's 4 hits, significant. To wound. 3's. Oh, wow. Would you believe it?
Wow, okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Alright, now, because it's his turn, he gets to now select another unit to attack with.
Great, so I'll obviously do this.
Use the robot. Okay, here we go.
Gets his 2 attacks. Are we okay to do that all at once?
Yeah, well, here's the
work?
thing. It says you can fight twice in the fight phase. Now, technically that would mean you attack once and then I could choose. However, as per the Khorne Berserker FAQ, it indicated that they could do both effectively at the same time. I'm going to assume that it carries on like that with you here.
Cool.
That's a bit of a grey area, but let's just say you can do it.
All right.
So do all 6 at the same time. No problem. Okay, that is 4 hits. It's very good. 3's to wound, no. So I'm hoping he whiffs. No, 3 wounds. That's good. -3 means I need to get lucky here. I need 2 6's. I don't get any. The Hellbrute is destroyed. Does he blow up and at least take something with him? No, he doesn't. Bad news for the Deathguard. Well, it's down to the Nautilus Blightbringer. 3 attacks. 2 hits. 6's. Reroll 1. No, no wounds. Shame. He did have damage too. The potential was there to kill him, but he didn't. So that marks the end of the turn. It's now the morale phase. You are within 7 inches of the Nautilus Blightbringer, so on a 6 you will take a mortal wound. No, you do not. Morale for the Plague Marines, 3. That does pass. Luckily.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the lay of the land. I do have a very strong presence on the battlefield. The problem is it's out of position. I'm starting to get into some serious trouble here because he's running away from me. I'm not fast enough to catch him up. However, he has potentially made a little mistake. Well, not a mistake, but he won't have gotten away from the melter shots. And if I move forward here, Cool will be the nearest model.
Yeah,
so I can melter him.
I saw that when I did it.
I can melter that cretin. But That will be my turn 3. That's the objective worth the most points. I've got a lot to think about here to see if I can try and play to win the game. Let's see what I do. Turn 3 for the Deathguard coming up next. This is a summary team. The Nauseous Blightbringer has remained in combat with the Knight. Ooh. Decided I'm going to try and tank it, shoot my plasma pistol every turn, and keep you away from that 4-point objective. I mean, to be fair, he can just move off. Although, funny enough, oh no, you can fall back and fire all of your weapons, can't you? Yeah. So, I mean, look, at this point, I may as well just try and hit whilst I can. Meanwhile, they've moved forward. I actually advanced with my Lord of Contagion there, just to tuck in as much as I could. I didn't advance with the Terminators. I've decided I will go for the Melter Gambit of trying to shoot Cool in the face. 3 are in range, 1 isn't. Just for your reference. The Plasma have stepped up here. I think we'll be overcharging and rapid firing into that robot. We must destroy that robot. Destroying that robot will give us some hope here. So what we're going to do is go straight into the shooting phase. So why don't we overcharge with our plasma, rapid fire into the robot right now to hit. We hit with all 4. That is an excellent start. No. We know that none of them die by killing themselves. 2 wounds, 3s. We wound with all 4. A tremendous start here in the shooting phase for the Deathguard. It's the sort of luck I needed now. He's got his repulsor grid. Yeah. It is a 5-up. If he had the Aegis protocols on, it would be a 4-up.
And if I get some 6s,
if you get some 6s, you'll get some mortal wounds back. It's true, but he does need 5s right now to make any sort of a save. Can he do it? He makes 1, but with a triple 1, we know he's guaranteed to be destroyed with a 6 damage outlay. However, 1 mortal wound does reflect back on me. Can my disgustingly resilient save? Yes, it can. Before we remove him, though, let's see if he blows up. Does he take any within? He does! Yes! But that's good for me because it might get Cool and it might get the Datasmith too. Would you believe it? So Cool is within 3 just. He's within 3 and I'm within 3. It's D3 mortal wounds. Now, how does it word it, Bone? Just because is it a straight D3 and everyone takes the same, or is it D3 per unit?
D6 before remove the model on a 6 explodes, and each unit within 3 suffers D3.
It specifies each unit. Right, so Plague Marines first. 2 wounds. I get disgustingly resilient. It kills both my Marines. Nothing I can do about it. Your Datasmith, sir. D3 mortal wounds. Takes the big 3. I think he comes with 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 1 wound left. Okay. And Belisarius, Cool. That's the big 3. That will help with the Melter, I'm sure. No saves. It's mortal. Here we go, folks. The Terminators. 3 Melters at Cool. The Combi Bolter also fires at Cool. 2 Melter hit. Toughness of Cool, sir.
I believe it's something
it's
crazy.
Quite hard. It's quite good, isn't it? Well, I've rolled a 4 and a 5, so it's definitely wounding.
Yeah, it's a 6.
Okay. I've got the 2 wounds anyway.
Good.
So you've got invulnerable saves here, Mr. Bone.
2 5-ups. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here it is.
He's made 1. It's not bad. On the roll of a 5 or a 6, the Melter alone will kill Cool where he stands.
No, don't do it.
Goodbye, Mr. Cool.
Oh.
That leaves him with 2 wounds left. Frustrating, because he can start healing himself. D3 wounds a turn, in fact. But I've still got the Combi Bolter. 2 hits. 1 wounds. Can he save? He can't.
Oh, interesting.
That leaves him on 1 wound, which is almost worse. It's almost insulting. It's like the Knight. Plasma from the Nauseous Blightbringer into the Knight. Hits. Wounds.
Well, this isn't good.
It's not. Fails to save. That's 3 wounds left on that Knight. Interesting. Well, this is the lay of the land then, isn't it? We're in the charge phase. This person. Still alive!
Yeah!
But I am within charge range. Of course, I have to be if I was in melter range. So, I want to make this charge. He will get to Overwatch first. Go for it, Mr. Bay.
Cool. So
Solar Atomizer, D3.
3.
1. Can he hit? No. Now, making a charge now, I think, would have a significant impact on this game.
Yeah.
Maybe turn it around back into the favour of the Deathguard. So let's do this. Grotty is about to do the Grotty dance. 8 is not good enough. For a moment, I thought I had it. It is, unfortunately, a failed charge yet again. Cool. Can perhaps scurry away on his little servo skulls and we repair. Oh, it's dangerous stuff. It's dangerous stuff. He is badly damaged, though. You certainly won't be able to take any more of this fire. And he's certainly going to have to run away from me.
Yeah.
Leaving the middle objectives open for me, so it could still be good. Depends what he does. Now for the Nauseous Blightbringer. Can we have something of a miracle here? Can he do what I need him to? 3 attacks. 3 hits. He's only got 3 wounds left. 6s to wound. 1 reroll. No. Okay. Now, that would bring it to your attack, sir. So we may as well do that. More dice over there if you're looking for them.
No, I think it's only 12.
Okay, 12. Here we go. 5s to hit. And he has hit a lot.
5
to wound. That's what he wanted. -3 or 2?
I think it's 3. Can I just have a check that real quick?
Yeah. Well, I'll make 1 save for certain if it's -3.
Ah, no, it's only -2.
Okay, I'll make 2 saves. That's 3 that go through, and it's D3 damage, right?
That's right, yeah.
Oh.
So, we'll be lucky.
Okay, so it's 4 wounds in total then, isn't it? Disgustingly Resilient could save me here. It does save me. I lose 3 wounds, but I think I've got 4 wounds. I do, so he's got 1 wound left. Extraordinary. Okay, so that is now the morale phase. Will the Dolorous now get a 6? No, otherwise it could have been a mortal wound on him. Okay, so I've got 1 wound left. Failed to charge again. It's looking a bit bleak here, but we do have 2 turns to play with. And actually, he's kind of scared of this. So, let's see what he does. It's turn 4 for the Mechanicus coming up next. Turn 4 for the Mechanicus. Let's kick it off with the Canticles of the Omnissiah. 2d6. A 1 and a 2. Okay. So, litanies, I assume, will go off again. The 2, he could make a chant of the Remorseless Fist where he could reroll hit rolls of a 1 in the fight phase.
Yeah,
although it's unlikely he's going to put any of these into combat.
Yeah, but I need to make sure.
But he doesn't.
Oh yeah, of course
from
he's in the Canticles,
so it's not something that's relevant unless you are planning on trying to do a speed bump or something.
Yeah. Yeah, well, obviously I'll take the Litany of the Electromancer.
Okay.
And then I will... Yeah, well, the only other one is you can reroll failed morale test, which is not of no point use to me now anyway, so I will take Chant of the Remorseless Fist.
Alright, let's get back to him at the end of his movement. Well, team, here we go. It is now the Master of Machines, or the Self-Repair Mechanisms of Belisarius Call. He heals D3 wounds. Turn. Just the 1, putting him on 2 wounds, still in a precarious position there. Okay, we'll come back to you at the movement phase. That's the end of the movement phase here, team, and actually, I think at this point, probably the end of the game, sadly, unless I can string the game out. Just don't think I can catch him, and he's spread out across the objective, so it's good play. It's good play, but unfortunately the Deathguard I don't think have the manoeuvrability to get back in the game. Let's see what happens. He's now going to heal Call again, but with, of course, the Dominus this time. So D3 wounds, 2 wounds back. So that puts Call back to 4 wounds, which makes him very tough indeed. Shooting-wise, there isn't really much, because he's retreating over here, but he can fire, of course, but that's the only unit. Did you move or did you advance with him?
I just moved.
Ah, so, okay, fair enough. So he can fire as well.
Yeah, so let's do that now.
Alright, D6 shots into the Terminators. 4 shots.
2
that is 2 hits, yes.
I don't think he's within 9 there.
He is actually.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yep. That's 3 hits. 2 wounds. 3 wounds. To save. I save all 3 with the Cataphracti armour.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, so now over here. So I'm going to fire everything into him.
Alright, the Knight trying to take out the Nauseous.
Yeah, so Melter. Hits. Wounds.
Does wounds, no save. D6 damage. That is, or in fact 2d6 damage, because picking the highest. Yeah. Okay, 3. Disgustingly resilient, I need to make all 3. Oh, it was a valiant effort, but the Nauseous Blightbringer is slain. Okay, that is shooting done.
Yeah.
Datasmith, by the way, guys, is just hiding here. Grotty can see him, of course, but that marks the end of the turn. It's turn 4 for the Deathguard coming up next, but unfortunately, guys, I don't know if I'm even going to be able to get into range of anything. Maybe able to sneak range on him with Melter. Let's see, or maybe, I don't think so, because they only moved 4 inches. So this is going to be maybe a blowout of a turn. Let me have a look, guys. I'll see what I can do and get back to you. Turn 4 summary team. The Deathguard have advanced literally, because of course we've got that inexorable advance. One of these can draw a bead against the Datasmith. He's advanced this way. This is just really a last-ditch effort. I don't have really much of a chance of winning this unless the game continues, which is possible, but we'll see how it pans. Let's try and kill that Datasmith. That would certainly help. So he's only got the 1 wound left. Melter does hit. 2s to 6 is what we wanted. He is in cover, but with a -4.
Yeah, I've got a 5-up in one anyway.
Oh, he's got a 5-up in one. Okay. The Datasmith. It's a save or die situation. He is dead. Okay, we do kill him. That's another objective cleared. But that's the turn. No charges possible. Nothing we can do. Brings it to turn 5 for the Mechanicus next. Let's see what they do. Well, we're in the movement phase here. We're going to roll for the Canticles, calls, wounds, the self-repair mechanisms. Whilst Bone brings up the Canticles. Yeah. Here we go. 2d6, a 6 and a 4, so Shroud Psalm again.
Yep, I'll be keeping that.
6.
And then 6 is you can reroll failed hit rolls of 1 affected for affected units in the shooting phase.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really going to be doing much shooting this turn.
It's a summary this turn. So whilst Bone thinks about that, he's moved this servitor around here. In fact, he's moved him so he's out of line of sight, sort of protecting him really, and he's holding that objective. Hasn't moved him yet. He needs to make a decent advance roll to make that objective, which we thought we'd show you. Caller's moved further away from here to obviously get further out of trouble. He does have D3 wounds to regenerate. Not sure if it's relevant, but it might be, so let's do it.
Yeah.
So he gets 3 back, so he's on 7 wounds. He's nearly back on maximum now. This is why you have to kill him in one go. All right.
So he needs a 4 to get there.
He needs a 4 to make it within 3 inches of that objective. Yep. That's right. On the advance. So it looks like he's going for it. Let's see if he can.
No.
No, he will fail to make that objective.
Yeah.
So in which case, where does he move?
Oh, he'll go this way.
Okay. Follows his master. So that's the movement done. It will only be one unit shooting. That's the knight. Let's see what happens. Thermal cannon into the Terminators here, folks. D6 shots. Just the one.
Ouch. Can I hit? Nope.
No, he can't. Melter gun's out of range.
So missiles, one
so
shot.
Missile, one shot. It's a hit. Can it wound? No, it can't. That is turn 5 for the Mechanicus. So it's a turn 5 Deathguard summary coming up next. There's a whisker of a chance we could steal this game, people. The Servitor here is holding the least valuable objective at 1 point. The Knight is holding the big kahuna at 4. We obviously can't allow that. Now I've moved here. 2 of the Terminators are in melter range, so is it within 12-inch range. It would take a 10-inch charge to make the charge against the Knight. I kind of actually want to not destroy the Knight and make the charge, just in case the game ended early. But actually, if I do destroy the Knight and I held that objective and this one, I'd win the game. If the game ends and I'm not holding this objective and he's not holding that objective, he'll be on 3 points plus Warlord for 4, and I'll be on 2 points. Let's see what happens. We're going straight into the shooting phase here. I will open with the 2 melter guns against the Knight. 1 hit. To wound. Failed to wound. It's not the end of the world.
No.
Because really what I want to do is make the charge.
Yeah,
really.
I'm aware.
Okay, I won't even bother firing the combi bolters. Let's go straight into the assault phase, the charge phase. Cool. I'm going to charge your Knight. I need a 10-inch charge.
Right, I'm going to Overwatch, obviously. Okay, so I'm probably... Well, I'm in with my... I must be with my military.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so... Melter, no. Okay, thermal cannon, D6 shots, 4.
No hits.
Missile pod, 3.
1 hit. No wounds.
Okay.
On a 10 or more, oh, I'm back in this game. Can they make the first charge? The Blight Lord Terminators to potentially win the game for the Deathguard in their Freeview debut. Oh! 1 inch shy. They failed the charge. And with that, if the game were to end now, it would be a Mechanicus victory. Mr. Bone.
Yes.
Mechanicus would win 4 points, 5, 6 points, 7 points, plus Warlord 8 points, and I would only have 2 points. On a 3 or more, the game continues though.
Okay.
He wants to roll a 1 or a 2, channeling the beard.
Beard. 7th beard. Beard 7th. He's been rolling very well in it.
He has, it's true. The game continues. Could it spell doom for the Mechanicus?
Probably.
Alright folks, here we go. We're not bothering rolling for canticles. I don't think it really matters at this point. Because anything which can be in combat and anything which is shooting is only the Knight. Canticles don't affect it. Now, the key thing is he got a 5 here. It's all off camera. We got a 5. He's now got Line Breaker and he's got that objective. And the Dominus here is holding this objective. And he's got this objective. That means he's on 6 points guaranteed. 7 points, in fact, because of Line Breaker and Warlords. Actually, that's pretty much just sealed the game. I don't think I can get back in it unless I get a lucky charge off with the Lord of Contagion. But I don't give up, so we'll see. So here we go. Shooting now. The Knight obviously just remaining static. Can't retreat any further. He'd lose the objective then.
Yeah.
So, rolling to hits.
So, Melter misses. Thermal cannon, 2 shots.
1 hit. That's actually a failed wound because I'm toughness 5.
Yeah.
Okay, and finally the missile pod.
6
shots. 3 hits. And no wounds. Okay.
Wow, those Terminators are badass.
Yeah, okay. That's the end of the turn. It would now be turn 6 for the Deathguards. Let's see if I can pull out a miracle. Well, here it is. Deathguard summary turn 6. I cannot win if the game ends this turn. Cannot win. The Terminators have moved here. We are now in melter range, which is good. And we can charge as well, and we're holding that objective. He's advanced this way. He's still holding this objective, but as it stands, I will lose by 1 point. Because he cannot make the charge here. He's 13 inches away. It's the only way it could have happened this turn. So I need the game to go on one more turn for the Deathguard to win. Let's go straight into the shooting phase. One of these melter guns is within 6 inches, so we're going to fire that first. Misses. The other 3 melter guns, only 1 hits. Can it wound? It can. Can he save? No. So it is D6 damage. On a 3 or more, the knight will finally be destroyed.
Yeah.
It's a 3. The knight goes.
But I take you with me.
As he explodes.
Ah,
no, he doesn't. So,
cool.
so we finally get the knight. So we have got that objective guaranteed now. No issues there. Does the game continue? I've got 6 points. Bones got 2, 4, 5, plus Linebreaker and Warlord. 7 points. 7-6 to the Mechanicus. The game continues for the final turn on a 4 or more. If it does continue, it could potentially be a Deathguard victory. Because if he moves over and charges him,
could be a problem.
Could be a problem.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Oh no, it continues!
Continues! Well, you know what the favoured number of Nurgle is, don't you?
No.
It's 7.
Oh dear.
Folks, here we go. Summary. Opening fire here. We should do the canticles, just in case you get reroll 1s to hit, Bo.
Okay, cool.
So let's do that. You did get reroll 1s to hit.
Good.
So
excellent. I'll keep that.
He's now firing at the Lord of Contagion.
Yeah, I'm going to come around this way. I'm going to come around this way. Right, so D6 shots. 5.
3 hits, no 1s. 2 wounds. 3 wounds. To save. 4+ invulnerable saves here. 1 save. Damage is 1. Yep. Disgustingly resilient. 1 save. So 1 wound down on the Lord of Contagion, but he is still very much alive. Mm-hmm. That, I believe, is all your firepower. Oh, you've got your Dominus.
Yeah, he should.
He's got the Volkite Blaster. Yeah. So 3 shots. That's 2 hits. Rerolling 1s to hits because of his own ability.
3 hits.
3 hits. 2 wounds. That's a mortal wound. Disgustingly resilient fails. And then a normal armor save on 1, which does fail. Disgustingly resilient does fail. Okay, so 3 wounds gone from the Lord of Contagion this turn, but that is your firepower complete.
Yeah.
That is your 7th turn complete.
Yeah.
It's my turn 7 coming up next. Folks, you can't write it. You cannot write it. Deathguard turn 7. They're holding the objective, so I just kept them there. He's moved out 4 inches. Guess what? He's 7 inches away from the Dominus. Well, he's actually just under 8, so it's a 7-inch charge, to be specific. Now, as it turns out, 7 is the favoured number of Nurgle. Obviously, I've got no firepower, so I'm going to declare a charge on you, Mr. Bell.
So, Overwatch.
No hits. No. I need a 7, favoured of Nurgle, to, in turn 7, successfully charge the Dominus and potentially kill it. In fact, I have to kill him to win. to make the charge. It'll be the first successful charge I've made with any of the Terminators this turn, this game. 7 or more for little Grotty.
No!
11!
No!
Oh, yes! Here it is, turn 7. Now, technically, these two guys are further over there, but I've moved them out here because it looks cooler and you guys can see it. Now, I've charged, I've got 4 attacks with my Plague Reaper against this Dominus. I hit on 2s. That's all 4. That's what I wanted. Now, Plague Reaper is +2 strength, but it's a flat damage 3. Okay, and I'm strength 6. What's your toughness, sir?
4.
Okay. 3s. That's the sort of luck I wanted. That's 4 wounds, guys. It's damage 3. How many wounds does the Tech Priest have?
5.
Right. He's got 5+ invulnerable saves here.
Yeah.
This is really to win the game, Bone. All you need to do is make 3 5-up saves. And then you will win the game. You don't even need to hit me back, although you would for honour. But you have to make 3. Bone!
No.
Oh, he fails 3! It's unbelievable!
Cool.
Wow.
That was epic.
That was extraordinarily epic. Unbelievably, he kills him, meaning the game ends with 2, 4, 6 victory points, and all of a sudden, Bone's got Slay the Warlord still, Linebreaker for 2. He's got 2 over here for 4. He's only got 1 here for 5.
Yeah.
It's 6-5 to the Deathguard. What happened?
Yeah, it's great. It's awesome. What a game.
Wow. That was
Epic.
Yeah, such an extraordinary game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't pick it. It goes to turn 7. In fact, I think the minute it went to turn 7, Grotty had planned this all along.
Oh, yes, of course.
A 7-inch charge. I triple checked it. After he moved, he needed a 7-inch charge.
Yeah.
He was technically just under 8 inches away, but you know what I mean. I rolled an 11 anyway, so it's irrelevant. But
so cool.
It really was. I mean, but also, I think it showed, because the game was extremely close. Now, you had a whiffer of a turn. I think could have swung it really severely in your favour. When you missed with the knight and everything.
Yeah.
But then I whiffed every charge roll with those Terminators the whole time as well, which if I'd gotten them in earlier, and then I whiffed that Prince. If I got the Prince charge off against your robots ahead of you.
Yeah.
And I only needed a 5 roll like a 4. I mean, that hurt as well. But at the same time, I think it shows both of these armies are pretty well balanced against each other.
Yeah, they're very good.
And wow, it made a really epic game. So, look, Deathguard fans, Grotty has sealed victory for you. I can't claim credit for that. I just got the luck at the very last minute. Admech fans, you shouldn't feel down because...
Do not lament. They are epic.
Yeah, they are more than epic.
Admech are just so good now, guys. You just get excited about it. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I agree. And they'd won on turn 5 and 6, so, you know...
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's still kind of an Admech victory, really.
Yeah.
But look, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that one. Obviously, plenty more in-depth battle reports to come up with the Admech and the Deathguards. If you're interested in on-demand, feel free to support us at Tabletop Tactics. It's the ultimate boss thing to do.
Yeah.
We will be having the full Tactica breakdown where we present competitive lists as well and go over all of the units and data slates for both the codexes over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We'll just wait for the first round of FAQs first. Don't like to dive into the Tactica straight away. Good to see what Games Workshop do just with an FAQ, solving that wings thing on the Prince, for example.
Sure.
And then we'll take it from there. But all of that to look forward to, guys. So until next time, this has been The Bone.
Yes.
The Beat Bop 1950s robot this time.
Yeah.
And I've been on the Grotty base. We'll see you very soon.